see 'em!
Hello and welcome to the Saladcast on Saturday the 20th of September 2014. I'm your host Dan Train, joining me today, Zachary Burgess. And Robert Kemp.
God damn it!
What the hell was that?
Well, I don't know, depending on what you said, I thought I might follow up Hassium with something like, oh, I see him. But it's like, no, that wouldn't work.
You could come up with a hilarious punchline to that joke.
No, well, if that was the punchline, there was no follow-up to it.
You need to go back to going years, I think.
Years.
Because apparently you've just run out of every other word.
That was like broken.
You just give weird pauses.
Yeah. Like there's a slight pause in the middle
I was
of
just
it.
having, it's the moment of starting salad casts. It's very emotional.
It's very shitting yourself.
Hassium, what's that used for? Zach,
Hassium?
chemistry
Hassium?
man?
I don't know, it's one of those dumb elements that are right up the far end of the table.
The dumb kind. The far end kind.
Bottom middle-ish.
Yeah, so it's probably a transition medal, I would guess. It's probably not past uranium, I imagine.
Past uranium.
Because then they get the weird names like Einsteinium and all that shit.
No, it's before that
Past
stuff.
uranium?
Yeah, everyone knows past uranium. It's what's in the fields, you know.
That's where I was going.
It's what the cows are munching on.
Oh, I see it.
Don't matter.
The fuck. Anyway, welcome to the Zachcast.
Let's commence the random segment. I've got a story.
Oh no.
Commencing the random.
A very boring and dumb story.
This is great. This is...
I've always known
You're really selling it, Zach.
Yeah.
So boring and dumb.
I've always known as the stories of things that I looked at while I was waiting for my tea to brew.
Wow.
Tea update.
Tea update. Is this more boring than Tales of the Niedermark Level Crossing? Like...
It's probably about on par.
Okay, strap in, listeners. It's time for a seriously boring random story.
So I was in the kitchen making a cup of tea.
Zach in the kitchen. He was making tea.
You don't need
On
to
the
repeat
Arga.
it. No, not on the Arga. We have a kettle. I mean, Jesus.
Oh, don't you boil it on the thing?
Only when the power's out.
Oh,
That's our
okay.
backup reserve kettle.
Convenient.
Tea never escapes.
And also, the tea that comes out of that kettle is always gross and horrible. Because it's like you never use that kettle for anything else, so naturally it just gets dust inside it. And no matter how thoroughly you wash it, you can never escape the horrible flavours that produces.
Is it not just like a bit rusty and old, or is it like the metal that's
It's not
tastes
rusty.
skank, or
It's fucking made of iron.
What is it made of?
With like metal, like a normal goddamn frying pan.
because iron is not metal.
Yeah, iron is a very specific metal, the only kind that can rust. It's a very specific thing.
But
So anywai, I
But
was
it
making
doesn't
this
have
cup of
like
tea.
it doesn't have an element in it. That I find it a bit gross having the like lime scaly metal elementy thing. Like it's quite nice having a kettle that doesn't have that, and you just put it on the stove because
You
then
think,
it's just a
yeah.
container.
If
Surely that's
if
better.
you used it constantly, it probably would.
Yeah, that must be better.
surely the whole thing just gets lime scaled instead.
Well,
Yeah, but there's something gross about elements.
actually, I think maybe it
together,
doesn't. It
sticking-
probably doesn't as much because when you're doing it with the element, it's
Surface area and stuff.
It's like overheating the water that's directly adjacent to it, and then it's spreading the heat into the because it's
Yeah.
basically doing it as fast as possible, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't modern kettles just like heat their base
It
rather than
depends.
have like a
And that
like
can
a-
get low scaly as well, just
Yeah,
a flat metal.
I mean, it does in my kettle. Like the
That's probably better.
yeah.
I hate that when I'm drinking a cup of tea and then in the last mouthful it's like, oh, I've got a mouthful of lime scale, great.
Yeah, that's absolutely horrid. Anyway,
Anyway, I was making this
so
cup of tea.
Zach was making a cup of tea, and
Is it Morphy Richards?
It might be.
Let's talk about his kettle.
you were doing it with the electric kettle because the power was up.
Oh yeah, the power was on. It wasn't the one power cup we've had this year or whatever.
See, us mere mortals, when the power goes, we just can't eat. We just can't drink tea.
Yeah, you're fucked.
Whereas you get really gross tea.
It's a bonus.
You're sorted.
So on the side of the table, while I was waiting for my tea to brew, I was like looking at some random packaging lying around. And it's like, so Waldorf salad is well known for being like the most incredibly unhealthy thing that's called a salad ever.
Right.
Is it?
Okay.
Why? What's a Waldorf salad?
It's the one with walnuts and shit in it.
Oh, walnut.
Is it the dressing that makes it?
Well, presumably.
The Waldorf is a hotel. It's not to do with walnut. But
No.
it does happens to have walnut.
Walnuts in
Right.
it.
It's just coincidence that it starts with W-A.
It's like walnuts
Hell.
and cabbage and celery and then some sauce.
Is it worse than Caesar salad then for
Well,
like badness stuff for you?
It's well known for being incredibly unhealthy. So I was looking at the packaging and I was like, oh, it's got the, recommended daily allowance or whatever on the front. So I'm like, oh, it's like, look at the thing. It's like 33% fat
Wow.
of your daily allowance. And then I look slightly below that and it's like 1/3 of a pack contains. So it contains 100% of your daily amounts of fat, and it's only like a portion of walnut salad.
Wow.
Like a bowl.
Yeah, like the sort of plastic container that you could hold in one hand and eat with a fork out of the other.
Holy shit.
And I was like,
so it must be the sauce or walnuts. They're the two bad things.
But everyone eats their recommended daily allowance of fat. Surely that would
You're
be...
not in one portion of salad.
yeah, perhaps not.
That is probably the happiest salad, though.
Probably.
It's because it's the filthiest salad.
Yeah. Hella filth. Also,
I don't have that one because I
cabbage
don't
has
eat nuts. Which is, well, cabbage in the salad.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat a cabbage salad. Cabbage is like meant to be cooked.
I don't know. It's not cooked in coleslaw, is it?
That's a different thing, though. That's like white cabbage as well, isn't it, usually?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what's in the Waldorf salad. Is it a green cabbage?
It looked green from the packaging.
Well, I'm sure it's very nice. I mean, it's...
Yeah, probably. I'm sure it's fine.
What on earth's in that sauce?
Yeah. It must just be like just fat.
Yeah.
It's covered in lard.
Again, most sauces are really pretty bad.
Yeah.
Fairness,
Yeah, but I thought they were like most of the salad dressings were like olive oil based or whatever, or vinegar based. That's
Yeah.
not that bad. I mean, it's not that bad.
it can be pretty bad.
Yeah, it can be in it to excess, but there's some people that swear by it. Aren't there like people that live to like 102 that just have olive oil every
On
day?
everything.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Italians.
Those crazy
yeah,
Italians.
Italians, yeah, or south of France or whatever.
So yeah, that bit of packaging, it was like, clearly the only reason it said 1/3 of a pack was so that they didn't have to write 100% of your daily allowance. They were trying to disguise it, because no one's going to eat 1/3 of this tiny bowl of salad.
They do that though, don't they? Like even Coke does that when it's like cans. It's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, here's the it's only got this much stuff in it for 100 milliliters or something. And how much is in
Yeah.
the can? Like 3 times that.
Have you ever compared? I took the Coke measurements and was comparing them to like orange juice and my favourite cranberry juice drink, which always.
so
Have you
that,
ever
like-
noticed that, like, you know, you get those cartons
Yeah,
or whatever, and they say apple juice, orange juice, and then the cranberry one says juice drink because it's not like pure cranberry
It's not
juice.
made of
whatever.
cranberries at all.
Yeah, well, it
What?
does have cranberries in it.
Oh, okay.
It's
What
just
is it? Unless you buy like Ocean Spray or
no, that's the same. It's all the same.
really?
Yeah, it's just because cranberries don't really work the same, or it would be too concentrated or something. I don't know what they
It'll
add
probably
to
taste
it.
horrible.
Yeah, it probably tastes horrible if you had just pure crushed, unlike orange juice, which you can just drink straight
Yeah.
out. But anyway, if you compare the amount of sugar in those to Coke, it's virtually the same.
Yeah, it is. You know, most orange juices are.
As in, it's horrifying.
It's the same with like a lot of smoothies will do that as well. Like unless they're specifically like, I don't know, innocent are pretty good.
Yeah,
They won't add because they'll just add stuff that's already quite sweet. Anyway.
yeah, but it's just
But-
yeah.
They won't add sugar to it. At least it's just that they might pick sugary fruits as the starting point, I guess.
And then you see people buying orange juice for breakfast or whatever, and then you see them buying the slimline tonic to go in their gin and tonic or whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
do you know how much sugar is in the freaking orange juice?
Yeah.
Like the tonic water's got barely any in it.
It's you're making the worst. Well, the best thing you're having slightly better. It's like you
Yeah.
should target the worst thing you're having and make that slightly better.
And maybe it's a different kind of sugar that's
Well,
better for you.
yeah,
or something.
maybe.
A
Natural
more
sugars or
natural
whatever.
sugar than the artificial.
What is it? Is it fructose? You'd think? Or
Yeah, I guess
Probably.
that makes sense.
So
I have no
that's-
freaking idea.
So
Anyway,
so in other, I guess, kitchen stories, now that I'm on this topic,
Other kitchen stories.
apparently my mum and dad tried to take the Actimel 1 week challenge, but apparently the challenge is remembering to fucking drink the things.
there's a challenge. What are they
What's the
challenging?
challenge?
Well,
do
you know, they always-
you get like 1 week's worth of Actimel and pour it over your head for.
Yeah,
They
that'd be great.
donate money to
Let's start that
Fools.
meme.
Oh man, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, that really would.
That'd be worse
All
than
those
ice
probiotic
bucket.
bacteria all over your face.
Do it on a sunny day. And stand. That's the challenge. You have to do it and then stand there for an hour in the sun.
No, the challenge is the thing they always use it for their TV adverts or whatever. It's like, drink this for a week and you'll feel better.
Maybe undescribably better.
Yeah. So yeah, but the challenge is apparently remembering to drink it at all. So there's only like 6 bottles of it, and it was on the shelf, and they got through like 3, and it's been 2 weeks.
Total fail.
I gotta admit, I've tried this in the past before. Not like officially like tried the challenge or whatever, but had Yakult or these drinks that like, because on the off chance they've been super cheap or something,
Yeah,
you pick up an entire
naturally.
pack for like 50p, and you'll be like, oh, sweet, let's try this. And then I fall into the exact same problem where it's like, I'm not drinking these. What's going on?
And then, like, midway through at the start of the second week, Mum decided that in order to make it more memorable where they were, she put them in the side shelf of the fridge door. And I was like, you never look there. You would normally look here in the front where they are in the middle, and you still forgot. So then put them in the side door and drink absolutely none of them for the whole rest of this week.
Yeah, you have to put them somewhere where it's in your face the whole time.
Well, what I said is what you should have done is just take them out of the package and then just lined them along the entire length of one shelf so you couldn't reach anything else on that shelf without seeing them.
Although I admit I'm bad with stuff like that in general. It's like I have the mouthwash I'm supposed to be using at the moment has like
supposed to. Have you got some kind of?
He's got funny gums.
I've got funny gums. I've always had funny gums. Well, I've not been prescribed it or anything, but to me, I'm supposed to be using this.
You need to unfuck your mouth.
Yeah.
Fuck this situation.
Yeah, should try and improve this. But it has like really awkward requirements in that apparently if I use it straight after brushing my teeth, it doesn't work very well.
Right.
And so it like then has this thing
so
where
then you just forget.
Yeah.
You walk out of the bathroom and you're done in there.
You should leave it, like, I think it says like 5-10 minutes or so after brushing your teeth before you should use this. And it's like, well, yeah, then I come out of the bathroom and go to bed. So I never use it.
Do you not use it in the morning instead, right? Would be better in the morning than in the
Well, but then I still have the problem because I get up, brush my teeth, leave the bathroom, then I'm done.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, maybe you could brush your teeth, then have a shower, and then do it after the shower.
Possibly.
Split it up somehow.
But then
You
like,
could even have breakfast and then do the mouthwash.
That'd be a bit weird, though.
Well,
that probably fucks it up in a different way.
But then you're in the situation where, I don't know, that you're not in, I suppose, where I have the whole house. And it's like, so I tend not to take the clothes I'm about to wear into the shower with me. So I come out like even just
clothes you're going to wear into the shower.
Not into the shower room. Like, so I come out in just like a towel or nothing, and then find the clothes like from the room. And it's like, but then I've left the bathroom or the shower room, and it's like then I'm away from the mouthwash again.
We'll just put the mouthwash downstairs next to the kitchen sink and do it there instead.
But yeah, maybe when I'm about to do the washing up or something, so take a swig. The Actimel challenge at the sink.
Yeah. Mouthwash is annoying regardless. And it's like even just normal even mouthwash that doesn't specify a time, it's like...
It makes my gums tingle.
Well, that's kind of the point.
Yeah, because it's a sort of itch. It's the thing. It's not like a tingle. It's like, this is really, really uncomfortable.
When I was last in the dentist, there was a thing, there was just like a random, information pamphlet or whatever just lying around, and I read it. It's like, you're not supposed to rinse your mouth out after you've brushed your teeth. And I'm like, well, what? Fuck.
Why are you supposed to leave all the...
You're just meant to spit, but not anything else. You're not meant to use any extra water to rinse your mouth out.
No.
You're just meant to spit out what is excess and just have a horribly minty mouth for the rest of the morning.
No. Well, that's handy, because I just do that naturally. But then again, because I drink so much, I'm probably doing that anyway, but, just swallowing it.
What's the harm in like washing out your mouth?
Well, it's because apparently you're meant to leave it in there to let it work for longer.
Oh, whatever.
So yeah, it's just like, I've never done that. And my teeth are not great, but they're fine.
Yeah, I don't know about
dental health
toothpaste, because like I see that. I think the main way it works is it's an abrasive, and I think the rest of it, and the fluoride is probably good or whatever, but that's in the water anyway. But the rest of it, all the like chemically,
and
stuff,
all the science, it's
mostly bullshit.
It's like they're like L'Oreal ads to me, aren't they? Where it's like, here comes the bullshit science bit.
Yeah, I think the main reason it works is because it's a mild abrasive which you brush onto your teeth with a. It's just like sandpaper, except it's like polish or whatever for a car. It's just an abrasive.
So the only two that I think stand out. Well, there's three types that perhaps do something different compared to normal toothpaste. There's the ones that are bicarbonate or soda based, that probably have some kind of effect because it's bicarbonate.
Well, it's probably just a sensation thing, though.
Yeah,
it feels weird.
Yeah, and a taste thing, because we don't get that because no one doesn't like the taste of those.
Yeah,
because it's weird. I'm alright with them. And then I suppose you've got the ones that are like sensitivity pastes.
No, I've been using those, and that doesn't seem to be helping that much.
All right, so maybe that one's bullshit.
Well, maybe that's just me, I don't know.
And the other one is something like pearl drops or something where they're like crazy.
They've got shit in the toothpaste.
But they put mouthwash droplets inside the thing.
Well, no, pearl drops is weird because it's super expensive and it's probably got like Tipex in it or something. So it's like it's the only thing that I think is like effective at whitening your teeth at home.
Whitening.
But it's not like one of these shitty like advanced whitening toothpastes or whatever where they're basically some of these new toothpastes that are like super white or whatever, max white, unbelievably turbo white. Like, because then they put these weird like crystal shit in them, which I just think, well, admittedly I've never noticed them, as I'm brushing my teeth I don't feel the extra bits of grit in my toothpaste. And secondly, it's like if they were like, I don't know, hard enough to make any difference, surely they would ram into my gums and make them even worse. But
it's not meant for gums, it's meant for teeth, that's the point. You're not getting the gum health toothpaste.
Oh, that's true, yeah. I'm getting the so it's like you can have really nice teeth at the expense of fucking your gums right up.
It's like the problem I have is like, I don't feel like when I'm brushing my teeth, unless I need to feel the sandpapery grindiness of brushing my teeth.
Yeah.
So that means I just press too hard and it fucks up my gums.
Yeah.
I see.
It's like if I'm not pressing hard enough, I don't feel like it's doing anything.
This is true.
Probably isn't.
So basically, fuck teeth.
Yeah, it's done. I think that is the main mechanism for it working, is that it's an abrasive and your teeth are hard and the stuff that gets stuck to it are soft. Yeah, but you just brush it off.
It's not like you're getting the bacteria off there on a microscopic scale.
Well,
I mean, the big chunks of food and shit, sure.
Yeah, but you can't get bacteria out of your mouth or anywhere.
I think that must be what the mouthwash is for, right?
That's what gum's for, isn't it? Like the point of chewing gum is that it then fills your mouth with the spit and amylase, so in theory, like it spends more time breaking down shit on your teeth.
That's a whole different.
That's the theory they advertise to you. Anyway. Again, I don't know if that's true.
Did you know? I didn't know. I don't know why I didn't know this. You're going to think I'm an idiot. But gum literally has made of rubber. Has rubber in it.
Right. Okay.
I didn't realise this.
Yeah.
So what did you think it was made of?
I don't know. I don't chew gum, but I just think it's a bit weird that it's like literally it is. At the end of the day, it's the same thing that goes into making tires or whatever.
Cement. It's made of a very loose cement.
It's not cement.
That's like the exact opposite, bro.
I was thinking some super viscous material. But I don't know. Cake.
Super viscous cake.
Cake
flows really slowly, doesn't it? It's like a glacier.
Some sort of jam.
For millions of years, the cake.
It's like glass.
Tar?
Totally.
Could they just make it out of tar?
Well, no, because tar and rubber aren't that dissimilar, because they're both like long, like hydro.
Well, yeah, but tar has been fucked up by time, isn't it? It's like tar is what sap turns into after it's gone underground. And
yeah, probably. For like a long time. Yeah. But they're the long chain molecule type deals, quite in some ways similar, aren't they?
Yeah, in some ways.
Some sort of caramel? That can be pretty fucking gloopy.
Well, yeah. But none of
you put caramel in your chewing gum.
Yeah.
That could work. I'd rather have caramel than freaking chewing gum. It's not going to help your freaking oral hygiene, is it?
So probably bubble gum was also just gum and rubber and...
Yeah, I think bubble gum is just formulated to make bigger bubbles.
It's just like less rubber, probably.
Yeah, or different.
If you think about when you're chewing like a chunk of chewing gum or a chunk of rubber, the leftovers, in chewing gum, it's like most of it, whereas in bubble gum, it tends to get a lot smaller. It's like you're sucking all the extra sugary bits out.
Or the juice pocket in the middle.
Yep.
Still don't get the appeal of chewing gum, really.
No.
The actual flavour lasts such a short amount of time, and then you just chewing it, and then it's horrible. It's nasty having to get rid of it because there's never any bins anywhere, and then when you don't chew it, then you get everyone else's gum like sticking to your freaking shoes and all that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's just when you don't chew it. I think that's everyone. It's
yeah,
like,
I know.
Oh no, I haven't eaten any gum today.
It's like
gum attack.
Never put your hands underneath a communal table.
No.
It's like, oh god.
It's the same with
school was the worst for that, wasn't it?
Yep.
It's like you just randomly find, oh, what's this lump? Oh no.
It's similar with cigarettes in that, like, when you don't smoke, You're going around and going, oh, this is disgusting. There's cigarette butts everywhere across the whole city or whatever, or the whole town in the country. There's just cigarette butts everywhere. And when you do actually have a cigarette, you're like, it's gone to the end. Oh, I have to drop it and like stand it.
Where do I put it
never
now?
mind. It's like, God damn it.
Well, at least it's biodegradable in theory.
Not really. Well, kind of. It's not that good. It's a filter, though. It's not the actual tobacco or anything. Because you already smoked that.
Well, the filter can't be that, I don't even know what the filters are made out of, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not actually sure. Should look up what filters are made of.
They're like cotton, really, aren't they?
Yeah, cottony stuff.
If you take them apart.
Yeah. They're fibrous, aren't they?
Yeah. So they probably are relatively biodegradable. Better than a lot of other shit that people throw out into the countryside, I suppose.
Like fridges.
Like McDonald's.
Well, they make paper.
McDonald's.
Like the remains of paper.
Okay, are they? Yeah.
Well, they are nowadays, I suppose.
Yeah, it used to be that
the styrofoam stuff.
Yeah. I'm glad they got rid of all that stuff because they were a bit weird anyway.
The styrofoam is now saved for... they're only used by shit vans.
Not your artisan shit vans.
Not your artisan shit vans. No. Your artisan shit vans have a conscience.
Exactly.
No, your regular shit vans will serve you burger and any old tat.
Yeah, you wouldn't get that in Shoreditch.
It's like, no, you don't care about the environment right now, do you, mate? All you care about is beef. I wonder if anyone has ever said that.
Well, before you say
yeah, like, you don't care about the environment, do you? All you care about is beef.
Well, beef is, incredibly bad for the environment, so maybe someone has said that before.
Yeah.
Is it? What, like, cows are bad?
Yeah,
cows are
terrible.
bad. Yeah. They're bad use of land, aren't they? And they
shit methane all over the place.
Yeah, loads of methane. Apparently, most of the methane comes out the front end rather than the back end.
Well, yeah.
But still, even so, it contributes to global warming quite significantly, I believe.
Yeah.
So how far have we got with the lab meat?
That's what I was thinking about when I was...
There was that lab burger, wasn't there? Like
apparently it's really icky and very expensive.
It's like when I was thinking about my problems with food, that I just don't like anything. I was like, can we just get to pill food already?
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm done.
What? Yeah,
what? Apart from for really bad
occasions.
food, like McDonald's and pizzas.
Yeah. Well,
but for general, I need to stay alive food, I'll just eat a fucking pill.
Yeah, I mean, I would appreciate the choice.
Man, yeah, food is delicious, come on. That's the whole meaning of the word delicious. It's a good thing.
I think I'd eat pills all the time unless I was going to a restaurant or something, which I'd do once a week and have nice food.
You can still have real food,
cooking.
but it's just way more convenient. And you don't have to worry about cooking or cleaning up or anything.
all that stuff. And cooking for one person is really annoying anyway.
But then surely how would you get over the hunger problem? Because a pill isn't going to fill you up.
Well, it depends.
Well, they'd have to
it's just one of those paper dinosaurs or something that gets bigger in water.
Or you just eat have some complement to the pill that's just a bunch of nothing, like popcorn or something. Only less unhealthy than popcorn.
Rice cakes.
Yeah.
What actually causes hunger? Is it as in the feeling? Is it a lack, something missing in your stomach and your intestines or something? Or is it actually from your body saying, I don't have enough energy?
I don't know.
Surely your stomach is empty quite a lot of the time and you don't feel hungry because it's digested one meal, but it's enough to keep you going for the next one.
I think it is due to some secretion of some kind. There is some chemical, I think, that induces hunger.
So if the pill gave you all the energy you needed, and then maybe it would stop that secretion.
It had some way.
And then you wouldn't get hungry.
Although biologically, you might also still have to eat something because otherwise the stomach acid would get out of control and stuff, I imagine.
Yeah.
That's what people have problems with,
that's true.
Too much acid, don't they?
No, but then you'd need the cows for milk, because milk is the thing that deals with all of that, isn't it? Like milk of magnesia.
I'm sure there's other ways.
Milk of magnesia is not milk.
No, also.
Does it not have any milk?
I think it just looks a bit like milk. That's why they call it milk.
Oh, okay.
I think it's some horrid chemical, isn't it?
I thought it was like milk just with shit thrown.
It is basically some chemical magnesium bonded thing.
Yeah.
That's why it makes you throw up, because it's like a horrible chemical that you're putting in there.
I don't think I've ever had that.
No.
Is that do you have that when you're ill or something? When do you have milk of magnesia?
Well, I think it
was supposed to
for food poisoning.
No, I think it was supposed to calm down stomach acid, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe that's
alkaline.
Yeah, so now you just take a Rene or whatever.
Yeah.
which is the same thing. It's pretty
It
much
is the
also.
A Renee.
Well, like those are.
Rennie.
Is it Rennie? Yeah. I said Renee.
Did I say Renee?
Get Renee Zellweger.
Yeah.
Well, it's like those
no.
is basically just
No,
like
thank you.
a big lump of chalk.
Yeah,
Essentially.
exactly.
Does it eating a big old lump of chalk?
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I quite like Reddit to like actual to unlike most medicine, you have to chew it,
Yeah, okay.
and it's like it's not that bad.
Is it made
It's
of gum?
flavoured.
Yeah, it's mint flavored, isn't it, or something?
Or
Is it mint flavored?
It's some kind of
Some kind
flavoured.
of flavour. Yeah. No, it's chalky.
Ah, okay. So
Yeah.
it's a bit like a tree boss mint or something.
No,
or-
it's like
It's like,
Similar.
they can be sort of chalky, can't they?
yeah,
Yeah, the
well,
old
a
school
little
ones.
bit.
Yeah.
The extra strong.
Yeah.
I need to get some of those. Haven't had those for ages. Frickin' tree bar extra strong.
They don't do the 4X variant anymore, though.
Oh.
Do they not?
No, I don't think so. The black hurricane strength packs
The
that they used to
hardcore
have.
ones, yeah. Hurricane strength.
Yeah.
What, for when a hurricane comes, or are they?
Yeah,
the hurricane
all you
back?
do is you get the entire population of your town to eat hurricane strength mints and stand there and go, and it dissipates the hurricane.
You just throw one at a hurricane.
Yeah, well, yeah, the trick is you have to
Dissipates.
get it in the top of the cyclone.
In the eye of the storm.
Right in the eye. That probably hurt.
It's like that fisherman's friend things.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, those
But
are
also,
they?
like, what the fuck are they?
I don't know.
Well, you guys wouldn't like them because they're aniseed flavoured.
Oh, no, I like aniseed.
Well, you like some kinds of aniseed.
I like licorice.
Yeah, exactly.
I got like
Is that aniseed?
Yeah, a little,
Oh,
isn't it?
Well, it depends on
Yeah.
exactly what kind of licorice.
Yeah, but we get
Red
aniseed
licorice is
balls.
fine.
We used to get aniseed balls all the time.
Yeah.
man, that shit's awesome.
It's just moderation. I felt.
Well, it's like aniseed balls is like 90% sugar, 10% aniseed.
Yeah.
All you're tasting really is a bunch of sugar.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Like, ouzo is like aniseed, isn't it? And that shit's horrible.
Half a bottle
It smells-
of so destructo.
It smells real good, but then you drink it and it's like, oh, I'm done now. You have one sip and it's like, that's about as much aniseed as I can take.
I had Calvados yesterday. That's apple, and that's. But you can't really say it's apple because it's so strong.
Calvados.
Yeah, it's like a liqueur thing.
Huh.
Majiggy.
Calvados.
No,
Is it-
Calvados.
Calvados. I was thinking it sounded like it should, if it was spelled out, it would look a bit Mexican.
No, it's French. I believe it's French anyway.
You're going to go Calvados.
Here you go.
Okay.
We have plenty of Mexican apples. Mexicans even have apples.
I knew that was going to be where that went. Like, we have plenty of Mexican apples.
sure
Do
they
apples
do.
grow in Mexico? Well, probably.
They
It's quite a
probably
big
do.
country.
They definitely do in America, so I'm sure they probably do in
It's
Mexico
not
too.
that equatorial.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah, like half of it.
Yeah.
It's quite a big country, as I say.
Yeah. Quite tall as well.
So this is quite an extended kitchen-based random.
Yeah,
Yeah,
any more kitchens
we did
to-
good with
Kitchen
our random
tales,
section
kitchen
there.
tales. Don't have any kitchen tales. Don't spend much time in there. Just use the microwave.
Did it require the sound?
Yeah.
To describe what the way.
Does your microwave not work unless you make the sounds for it?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, it's a joke.
Well, it would be unsafe not to have the sound. I mean, the actual sound broke, so I always make the sound.
You have to remind yourself that it's turned on, or otherwise you like open it by accident, and then all the
Exactly.
microwaves get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. Does that actually happen? If you
No!
But no, it's just quite like if you open the door.
It's got an interlock.
I know, and it turns everything off. I know that, but is there like a slight possibility of
A singular wave,
Yeah.
like just one single set of
Reflecting.
wave.
Yeah.
It could be, I guess.
Yes.
It's just electromagnetic.
But it's pointed downwards, so all you're really getting is infrared off.
Well, no, but some come out the side,
Yeah.
don't they? Like some
Depends
microwaves
on
have
the
like
design, I suppose.
yeah. I'm sure some of the ones I used to have like had the the weird window at on one of the side walls, and it would like bounce off the front. Onto the food.
I thought you were going to say onto the news, which would have been a much better idea. Let's move on.
Let's bounce microwaves onto the news.
News!
I'm relying on you guys this week because
Oh, shut up.
Rob hasn't been around.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. You've been on holiday. That's
Oh.
cool. That's a good excuse. How was your holiday in random?
Oh,
Back to random. The news can wait.
Okay, news.
that's all we need to say about our holiday.
I heard something about like some game with blocks being bought by some big company. I don't know. What's the deal with that?
It's ridiculous, is what's the deal with it.
Why is it ridiculous?
For a whole bunch of reasons.
Makes total sense, doesn't it?
We should actually say what it is. Microsoft bought Minecraft for $2.5 billion.
$2.5 billion. I don't know how much that means. Like big numbers like that confuse.
£1.5 billion. There you go.
Not technically with just Minecraft, either. I suppose they got the studio.
I'm trying to work things out on the scale. They got the Mojangs.
Yeah, they bought Mojang.
Because I always think, because you know my Autonomy, right? The deal with FeatureSpace, and Autonomy got sold to HP for $11 billion, right?
Yeah.
So that's that. Okay, Minecraft $2.5 billion, Twitch $1 billion, right? Was it $1 billion? Nearly $1 billion. The money that NASA just awarded to SpaceX to build a spaceship, $2.6 billion, or something like that, and the money they gave to Boeing was like 4.3 or something like that. So these are the kind of none of it makes any sense.
Well, it's like Minecraft.
It's like a waste of time. Why the hell did they spend $11 billion on it when it takes $4.6 billion to make a fucking spaceship and go to fucking Mars? It's insane.
It's like Minecraft costs almost pretty much a similar amount of money as like LucasArts, like the whole of Star Wars.
Yeah, all of Star Wars. How much did Star Wars cost?
That was in the 2-something billion.
Billion, was it? That's
2 to
insane.
4.
You'd think that'd be worth more almost.
But what is like
Minecraft.
Mojang's profit margin is like in the hundreds of millions still, like every few months or so.
Yeah.
So it's
Well, the funny thing about not the funny thing. One of the things about the Minecraft stories was when Microsoft did their press release about it, they were like, "We're going to break even in 2 months," and everyone was like, "What?" I don't think Minecraft makes 2.5 billion in 2 months, but they were talking about they were saying that if we hadn't spent the money to buy Minecraft, the profit that we're going to now make from Minecraft, we would make the equivalent of having it spread out over the lifetime of what. So it's like they're basically saying we're going to make 200 million in 2 months,
right?
And that's what they. So they're not actually going to make 2.5 billion.
No,
they're going to make an amount of profit that they projected.
Okay, that's still confusing.
Yeah, it's still dumb.
I get it. What?
Okay, but anyway,
so they bought it.
They bought it. What are they going to do?
Well,
hopefully not fuck it up. Is the answer to that question?
Presumably, this means they also have the other projects that Mojang have been working on since forever, like Scrolls.
Yep,
and
apparently, but no, there's basically no other project. Scrolls is about the only one that got anywhere near to being a finished thing. If it even did, I don't know.
Yeah, they don't care about the other things, do they?
No.
Scrolls or 10XC.
I imagine they don't really even care about the studio.
I don't know.
Well, that's not so sure, is it? Because since Notch sort of stopped working on it, Minecraft has still been.
It's not just him that's left though.
Yeah, there's like
the other two guys, right? I think the guy with the cats or whatever. He was the guy that took over from Notch originally.
Could be,
yeah.
But the guy who's working on it now is part going to Microsoft or whatever.
Yeah. Well, they all are.
But there's just it's been a year since the last update, so it's taken them a year for this last update. It's a big one.
Well, in fairness, they've been making the Xbox One and the PS4.
Well, I don't think they have, though, have they? The people who are working on the PC Minecraft, because it's in Java. so they don't have.
Which again is interesting, given that Microsoft have a massive competing technology.
Basically, the only thing.
But they ported it for the consoles.
For the consoles, yeah. So there's 2 different dev teams.
But the main version is still the big Java version, right?
It's still ahead of the Xbox, the console ones. They're never going to catch up to parity because they're always one step behind, basically.
Well, maybe they will now. Maybe they'll change
the only thing that I'm hoping that will come out of this is don't fuck with it, but change the language to something normal that's not Java, so it'll run better. That's all I want.
Well, they might have already done that for the console versions because it's we don't have any.
Well, obviously, it doesn't run on Java on the consoles.
No, I mean we haven't had any exposure to it, have we? So
I think it runs native on the 360 or whatever. I think it's C++ or whatever.
Yeah.
So they'd have to make a monumental effort to pull that up to speed and have that be the one version.
Yeah. That's all that I hope that they do.
I mean, they should. At this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they should do whatever makes them loads of money, which is whatever they're currently doing.
Make it so you can be bigger.
Well, it's what they have to do to not fuck it up is like preserve modding, basically. And like server structure, I suppose.
That's the problem. I think if they were to rewrite everything that they have now and report it, none of the mods that are in existence would work. You'd have to port your mod.
Well, yeah, but that's like not necessarily a complete disaster.
No,
because they're all
make it still moddable, but you'd be working on a different base platform.
It's like all the mods have the problem that like practically every version of Minecraft that comes out, they still have to rebuild their entire mod structure because normally something changes that fucks it up, fucks up compatibility. But then, of course, all the people who have been making mods for Minecraft do know how to do Java. Maybe they don't know how to do any other languages. So then you'd get like the mods that exist now that everyone likes. The developers for those mods would say, I'm going to give this to someone else to rebuild into whatever new language.
It's a tricky position, but it's something they probably should have done a lot sooner, like especially when they were dealing with the first console versions.
Yeah,
why not just put that version out on PC? And
you could have seen years ago that it was going to be massive. I think they probably multiple parties tried to buy them before, and they said no, sod off, we're going to do it.
Well, everyone was retweeting the classic tweet from Notch in 2008, where it's like, my price is $2 billion, and apparently it was.
Yeah.
Although not just been trying to play the higher ground position, which I think is slightly incredulous. Or
it is now.
Where he's going, it was never about the money, guys. It was I never wanted to be the CEO of a corporation. It's just.
Well, the main thing that's fair enough if he didn't want to do that.
But it kind of is about the money. Come on, he doesn't have to do anything ever again.
Yeah, but he already didn't. He was already making hundreds of millions or whatever off Minecraft as an independent thing.
Mojang was. It wasn't hundreds of millions.
I think he made enough. But anyway,
he was 70% shareholder as well, or something. So
yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, you have to sell to actually make money out of that fact, which he did. But I mean, the main thing that makes him a hypocrite is the way he came out for the Oculus Rift purchase from Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if he hadn't been a dick about that, then it wouldn't look so weird.
Yeah, and he bitched about Microsoft in the past.
Oh yeah,
like the Windows 8 stuff.
Oh, repeatedly. Yeah.
But I mean, so did Gabe Newell. I mean, and Gabe Newell is a Microsoft guy.
Speaking of which, Steam Machine hasn't been about for a while. We haven't heard anything a lot from them for ages.
Apart from where they made the controller have a stick.
Yeah.
Where they're just okay, we've decided maybe not two of those things, maybe we'll have a stick as well.
Yeah, we'll put a stick on it.
But that's been a while.
It has. It's gone a bit quiet on the old Steam Machine front.
You're not hearing about many games having a Linux version being made, despite that initial sort of thinking that perhaps people would be making more, AAA versions of games in Linux, because it's just not to give it momentum, I guess. It's just not happened.
Yeah, it does seem to have stalled a bit. I mean, I don't know what Valve are doing behind the scenes on that stuff. It seemed to me that the main problem with the Linux games was all the graphics drivers and stuff.
Then again, but PS4 architecture and PS3 architecture is similar to OpenGL.
That's true.
So perhaps for
that's true
for things that have had a console release, surely that's not so tough.
Yeah, maybe. Don't know.
Graphics side, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you already have to work to OpenGL or whatever standard, and even to do your really impressive PS4 game, then it can't be that big a step to get stuff working on Linux with equivalent drivers. Because presumably for Xbox One, you use DirectX, right? I guess.
Yeah, I think
DirectX
so.
Version.
I think it's
whatever.
DX11. I think is the one that's currently running on there, and it will be updated to handle DX12 when that stuff gets finalised.
Yeah.
They were saying that they've been running numerous little demos about how the metal DX12 is can either save you about 50% battery power or you can get 50% more performance out of it, and for rendering the same stuff as a DX11 based thing. And it's that's a hell of an improvement. I'll back that up with some game.
With a game.
Yeah.
Some kind of game. Speaking of games, totally smooth transition for our gaming podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of games, we're talking about games.
More news.
We are speaking of games. We're speaking of consoles.
I know.
Consoles around games. Is that what you're speaking of games?
More news about games, I suppose.
News!
Well, there was, coming out of TGS, there was like a lot more footage of, well, not really footage, I suppose, more trailers of new Final Fantasy 15.
FF15?
Looks fucking nuts.
For PS4?
Presumably.
Yeah, I don't think they've really said what it's coming out for.
What's the deal?
It's a road trip.
Road trip!
You have a car and it's just like 4 dudes in the car and you drive around, then you jump out and fight some shit, and then you drive around some more. Or at least that's how it appears in the trailer anyway.
So like the wagon in Crystal Chronicles, but faster.
I'm
thinking it'd be more like the buggy you get in FF7, or...
But faster.
Yeah.
All I'm hoping is that the brand of car is like Chocobo brand or something. They have to bring that in somehow. Come on.
Yeah.
If they're not going to be literally riding Chocobos.
Like a Ford Chocobo.
Yeah, exactly.
A Ford Mustang.
Well, maybe this is all, presumably what they're showing us might be at the start of the game, and then some sort of cataclysm happens and they find themselves...
And they have to ride
Chocobo. This world's equivalent of the Wild West, and it turns into Red Dead with Chocobo.
I don't know, it seemed like they were in quite a lot of the Wild West-esque areas from it's like, it doesn't... The bit that I saw where they do a sort of a close-up of the side profile of the car, it's like it's a convertible.
Right.
So, there's no roof or anything. And it's like quite low profile and they're driving off-road and it just doesn't look right.
Right.
It's like...
The whole car would be going...
Yeah, they fuck up their whole car quite quickly doing that.
You should have a freaking flying car like this, like in full throttle, whatever.
And of course, all the characters look like dumb modern Final Fantasy characters. They all look practically identical with their stupid feathered hair and all that shit.
Yeah, classic Japanese emo.
But the hair's not going to fit if they had a roof. That's why it's convertible.
But there's like 4 of them, and they're all dudes, and they're all wearing black.
Oh, wow.
And they all look practically identical. And it's like, that's a bit weird.
Yeah,
it's a road trip, you can't.
What?
It's a dude road trip. They're all
bros. It's basically the In-Betweeners movie in game form.
Yeah, clearly.
Oh dear, that sounds really bad.
And also their swords don't apparently exist. It's like when they're fighting, they just do a swinging motion, and then the sword just materializes for the hit.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting. Yeah,
Compact, like energy swords that you don't really see.
And then he also does a thing which may be cool if it turns into some kind of Assassin's Creed-esque thing, where like he does a throwing motion which like projects the energy of the sword, and then the sword sticks into a pillar, and then he teleports onto it, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I think they've shown that
for
before.
a kind of transversal mechanism, I suppose.
Yeah,
but it might be entirely pointless.
Traversal.
Yes. Transversal.
You're
going sideways.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this trailer yet. I really want to see it.
And there's giant monsters and shit.
Yeah. Well, they've shown things that looked... Oh, I forget what they're called, but they're sort of like brutish-looking things that sort of are on all fours and can stand up. Often. Yeah, that's what
they can stand up.
Yeah, they can. They're like they start on like all fours, and they're like beast-like things, and then like they can like transform and stand up as. They don't really transform. They just stand up and go, get all their health back, and then like pick up an axe. So that's what they did in 13, but they appeared to be back. Whatever.
But again, it's like, do you even remember what like the first couple of trailers for Final Fantasy 15 were like? Because they weren't like this.
Well, I remember.
Really?
There was one where he was sort of running about in a building, so it looked like a chase sequence.
Yeah.
And then there was some teleporting at one point, but they didn't really show
how
that was happening.
And then there was like he was falling through the city or something.
Yeah, and there was. It started with him.
It wasn't a road trip, basically.
No, there was a scene where he was sat in a car. The trailer, I think, opened with him just looking bored in like a car, and there's like a modern-looking city behind them.
Right? Yeah, maybe. So yeah, it looks weird. I don't know. Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, come on, it better be good. We're long overdue for a good Final Fantasy game.
Yep.
Do they even remember how to make a good Final Fantasy?
No, it's probably not. None of them are probably the original team anymore.
Totally different people.
Well, I mean, it's like if you have this car and you're roving around on this like, it can't be any more corridory than Final Fantasy 13. So you can apparently go off road and shit. So maybe there's open areas and maybe the world map doesn't suck.
Is it like Mad Max style?
No, it's like modern time. It's like the car is quite fancy.
Oh, okay.
It's got a nice shiny paint job, which somehow doesn't get fucked up by all this off-road driving, naturally.
Does it look like the West then, like America? Like
sort of. I mean, it's like, mountains and mesas and then giant fucking turtle monsters.
Right.
From what I remember from like the early trailers, it's like some of it actually sort of reminded me a bit like fancy bits of London, I suppose, and
The bits in the city,
like,
probably.
yeah.
In the city.
From the little part of the story that they do in the voiceover between when the guys are talking, it seems to suggest that one of the dudes is the prince of somewhere who has run off on this road trip, and everyone's looking for him or something.
The Prince of Pain!
So, Final Fantasy story, I suppose.
Have to have some kind of noble in there somewhere.
Yeah. So that's that.
Could be like the Prime Minister's son or something. Like.
I guess it could be.
It's all about Prince Charles. That's what we're saying. It's Prince Charles's early career that we'd never hear about.
Fighting giant monsters.
Fostering giant monsters and going on road trips.
Fostering giant monsters.
Fostering giant monsters. He's the cause. Twist ending.
Probably.
So Smash Brothers has sold 1 million copies in Japan already.
Oh yeah, and that's the other thing about Smash Bros, isn't it?
It's out in Japan.
And we know that the roster wasn't bullshit like we thought it was.
Nope.
Duck Hunt Dog is in.
Yeah.
Definitely in.
Which is...
Why did you doubt that? That's an obvious one, surely.
Well, because-
Once you hear... Not obvious when you haven't heard about it, but there's a moment you hear Duck Hunt Dog, you think, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I don't know. I always thought it could be more likely as a support trophy.
Yeah, I mean...
Rather than a
already
fully
was,
fledged character.
probably.
Yeah.
But and like the other parts of that screenshot looked well dodgy and
Right.
like they were probably fake. And also everyone just sort of didn't want to believe that Dr. Mario and Dark Fit were separate characters.
Yeah, but you know what they're like. Even when they come out and say, no dupes or whatever.
Yeah, as it turns out, yeah, okay, there are.
And currently my 3DS is downloading the demo. Because now it's past the 19th, so the demo is out for everybody. So I can see that after this podcast.
Yeah.
So everyone kind of has always thought that the 3DS version is going to be inferior or whatever.
Yeah.
But how inferior are you expecting? Are you expecting a totally different game, or like, because you don't have a Wii U, but you're going to probably play the shit out of the 3DS version, even if it sucks.
No, I'm going to play the Wii U version when Rob buys it.
Yeah, but you probably get the 3DS version.
No.
No?
Why would I do
Skip it
that?
completely.
Why would I buy the shitty version when I can just come to Rob's house and play the good one? With him. In multiplayer.
Yeah.
How it's meant to be played.
With everyone in a room and shouting and shit. The real question is like the extraneous
The
stuff,
feature
because the 3DS version has some kind of single player dumb story based thing like they do sometimes.
It's like, progression.
But it's like, will that be the same on the Wii U version, or will they build that out in a different way?
I think they've said those two things are going to be different in between the versions. Like a lot of the single player content will differ.
So that'll probably be good.
Yeah, well, I think the
different.
3DS version is going to be considerably less of that than the Wii U, from what I've heard.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. But then obviously the main problem with the 3DS version is, regardless of how you're playing it, multiplayer, you're always playing it over a wireless connection of some kind.
I think they dated the Wii U version now, haven't they?
Did
like
they?
end of November or
Oh
something.
yeah, they might have done.
So it's earlier than the supposed leaked date.
Wow.
By like a week.
And that depends whether it gets delayed again before then.
Yeah, let's hope not. It's getting a bit close for them to sort of pull another delay out, I suppose. But we still haven't seen a great deal, I suppose, of the Wii U version. They have been pushing the 3DS version quite heavily.
I guess the other sort of still a question is like, are there going to be more characters in the Wii U version?
Oh, I know. I think the roster's going to be identical.
Because there are going to be different levels.
Yeah, the stages are definitely going to be because the Nintendo stage is 3DS exclusive, and I don't know any more than that, really.
That game sold a shitload of copies, that Nintendo. You know about that?
Yeah, of course.
Like,
it was the classic, like
one of the
that was
best-selling games of all time.
That was like the Wii Sports of the DS, basically.
Yeah.
It was the one that every fucking parent had for no bad reason.
And it was like an intro. It was another one of those like casual gateway things. So like small girls suddenly like the idea of having
Small
a DS.
girls.
Small girls.
Well, yeah, who else is Nintendo like good at?
No, fair enough. The gateway to nothing, as it turned out. The gateway
Naturally.
to you will never keep these
The
customers.
gateway to brain training,
Yeah.
that was about it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You will get these customers this one time, and then they won't buy your next console.
Because you've done nothing new with it. We got to do the old again and do it well.
They're doing it. That's what they're doing.
Yep, and I'm liking it thus far.
You got your Mario Karts. You got your Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
You got your Zeldas coming.
F-Zero.
Oh, and that's the other
F-Zeros, no. Oh, I saw an indie
Star
racer
Fox is-
that looked like a bit F-Zero-ish,
No, it wasn't.
although with wheels.
Well,
What was it called?
F-Zero with
Difference
wheels.
or something, was it called? I can't remember. Anyway,
Duh.
kind of cool.
That's the other thing.
and
about-
Isn't it called like Formula
Species
Zero
one.
because the zero stands for no wheels in F-Zero?
Really? That's a terrible reason.
I could be completely wrong on that, but that was how I always thought of it.
Or is it just zero gravity?
Or is it just because F-Zero is lower than F1?
I never even made the connection with F1. But
I think that's why they called it. Like, I think that's the core reason. Is
Right.
like F-Zero is less than F1, and it's like, well, it's faster than Formula One. Like, come on.
Right, F-Zero is an awesome name.
It is a
Zero
good name.
gravity, though, surely.
Possibly, yeah.
Even though it's not really zero gravity, it's just like they're
Hovering.
magnetically
Yeah.
attached to the track or some shit.
Yeah.
However the fuck that actually works in the F-Zero universe.
Slightly hovering vehicles.
And that's the other thing about Smash Brothers, I guess, is if the roster is the same for the Wii U version, what chance do you think there might be for a decent selection of DLC characters? Because they've sort of already confirmed there are going to be DLC
I mean, they've been doing it for Mario
interesting.
Kart quite
Yeah.
nicely, so they put Link in there.
Well, yeah, and if they price it as well as they did with the Mario Kart stuff, come on, this is like DLC for Smash Bros. That's awesome.
It's awesome, but then the question becomes like, if they do it and they, and it's fine and it's priced reasonably, will they do a Sega and fuck it up and not actually release anymore?
yeah.
Generations where they made a pinball table and they were like, well, that's that.
Yeah. God damn it.
Because then they can then you don't have to make another Smash Brothers practically forever.
Well,
Just release every character
Yeah,
and
at least-
stage and whatever.
At least until the next Ninty console
Oh, yeah,
comes out.
obviously.
But they weren't going to release a second Smash Brothers in the Wii U cycle anyway, were they?
No.
Really?
But now they have DLC. It will make everyone theoretically happier.
Yeah.
That they won't have to worry about when the next Smash Brothers is coming out.
Because the gap will be filled, hopefully. Probably for like a year after launch, I reckon. I don't know if they'll stay with it for that long, but depends how popular it gets. Like if it gets the same sort of popularity that Melee did, like with the fighting community, I guess, because that's the only reason Street Fighter gets away with what it does.
Well, that's what we just have to. We have to hope that with these like partnerships Nintendo have with like Capcom and Namco and stuff, they don't learn the Street Fighter release mechanism of Ultimate
Yeah.
and all that,
Yeah,
because that would fuck up everything.
Let's hope not. I mean, they've always, at least with the Street Fighters, there's always been an upgrade path digitally. Like you could always like buy the if you had the last edition, you could get the next edition for cheap or something.
Yeah,
So yeah, it depends how far they'll go down that rabbit hole.
just don't do that. It's like if they just sell the characters individually, it'll be super awesome. Because
Yeah.
then it'll be like you can not get the ones that are shit.
Yeah,
But that won't happen because we'll just get all of them.
yeah, we'll get a season pass. That's the one thing I might
Oh, yeah, if they
seriously
do a
consider a
season
season
pass, yeah.
pass.
Have they ever done a season pass, Nintendo? I guess not really.
The Mario Kart one sort of counts, I suppose,
Yeah.
like because it has both packs.
So,
in
yeah,
one.
a 2-part season.
Yeah.
It's the end of the season.
Yeah,
Now
don't
buy
think-
another one.
I think that must probably be the first time they've ever done that because it's like I'm just thinking of like other times when Nintendo have done DLC, and I think they only do like the individuals or here's everything, but it all comes out at once, so it's not really like a season pass in that case. It's just like a package.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can't think of a time when they've done it. Have they not done? Was it like? Oh yeah, because Mario Golf on the 3DS, was that the last time they tried something similar? But again, you're right. Didn't all the packs come out at once, and there was like a package deal where you got like Gold Mario or something if you bought them all?
Yeah. And I think they might have done like multiple packages before, like I guess seasons apart from not in a season package. Like here's season 1 of DLC where it's the first 3 packs or whatever, and here's season 2 where it's the next 3 or whatever. So yeah, not exactly season passes.
But yeah. But they might do. Well, they will for Smash Brothers. Assuming
I
there's
don't
DLC.
know if you can say they will, because that
Okay.
depends on whether Nintendo knows what the fuck they're doing.
Well, they seem to know more.
They're learning.
They're learning. They're learning due to being repeatedly poked by terrible sales figures and and shareholder meetings and like people taking pay cuts and going, oh god,
and everyone telling them over and over.
Yeah, repeatedly telling them. Yes, well, they're a niche thing now. They're not going to be the best selling console, so they're going to play to their audience, which is awesome.
Well, yeah, indie stuff. They're playing the same game that they always have in a way, like since GameCube at least, which is like, well, we can get away with having the slightly underpowered machine because the way we make games doesn't need it.
Yeah, I know that's true, but it may be a similar game, but it was working out totally differently from the Wii generation where they basically beat everyone.
Yeah.
With their sort of asymmetrical warfare tactics of like, let's sell everyone Nintendogs and make a pile of money.
Let's do something different.
Yeah.
The problem is that something different is the mobile market now.
Well, yeah, people still buy 3DSs, I guess, but not the same extent.
Well, no, because it's like you don't really want to give your kids a phone.
That's true. And they've still managed to wangle it so that the whatever Pokemon game ensures that you have to buy one for each child.
Yeah. And the way that I don't know, for people like us, I guess, that are in the know and know that mobile games suck generally and want to play a proper game.
Yeah,
there's always a market for us to have a mobile device.
That's true. I just don't play proper games on the go.
No,
not that Zach does either. He just sits. Just sit there with the freaking 3DS. Yeah, sitting on the sofa.
I wouldn't do that when I'm at home and stuff. But there was moments in Cornwall where it was like, it'd be nice to have a new device to perhaps do some cooler stuff on. Because my old DS did come out a couple of times, and I actually played more GBA games on it than I was expecting. As in, I played a GBA game.
Well, it's because your touchscreen's broken, so...
Yeah, that too. It does limit me somewhat. But it came out. I needed some buttons in my life. Anyone news?
What's going on?
I can't think of anything else.
Freaking Destiny came out.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes it.
No.
I'm not liking what I'm hearing about it. But it has this weird effect on people. Okay, so generally the consensus is that it's filled with problems and isn't the game that it was selling itself to be. But at the same time, a lot of people have got properly into it and can't draw themselves away from it, even knowing all this.
It's because it's got freaking loot. Anything that's got loot.
Not enough loot. That's one of the problems.
No, I know. I don't know.
But people can't tear themselves away from it, which is always a plus.
Quite nice shooting mechanics because it's a freaking Bungie game. You can't really go that wrong.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, I really don't like the sound of it being so... The story such that it is being so sort of self-serious.
So rubbish.
It just sounds stupid, and like that would really annoy me because like Halo was a little bit self-serious, but it was fun. It had some jokes and stuff in it and stuff, and at least it made more sense than this.
The one thing that annoys me that I've heard, and this is an incredibly precise thing that only annoys me in like a very nitpicky kind of way, is why does the moon not have moon gravity? I mean, come on.
I know. Well, that's terrible. And Venus and Mars.
Well, I mean, Venus would have similar gravity. Mars would be slightly lower.
Come on, even the new Borderlands is doing gravity changes.
I mean,
it's literally like in the physics option of your programming engine, you just like type 0.6 instead of 1.
It'll be a variable somewhere.
But they on purpose didn't do it, right? Because they wanted the gameplay to be the same.
It does technically make you have to design levels slightly differently. Like, you have to make everything taller in order to stop people from jumping off it, I suppose.
But then isn't that cool?
It's just like, it's... And of course, it's like, if you even try and think about the lore of it, it's just like, what? How?
Yeah.
You can't alter the gravity of a planet unless it's like, literally your suits are like...
doing something.
Yeah, propelling you downwards.
Yeah, no, it's dumb. Doesn't make any sense.
And the amount that Venus got terraformed is fucking ridiculous.
Well, it
just looks like fucking Earth.
It is right. In the lore, it's like total magic, right?
Well,
like the Traveller did it, or whatever, right? Or what? The Sphere of Doom did it.
Maybe.
What's it called? Is that the Traveller?
Yeah, the Traveller.
I get confused with the Traveller in TNG. The stupid guy. Wesley, come with me. You'll be happier.
But it's dumb.
We'll go travelling.
We'll
see Asia.
You're all right.
And also, there's like, The problem with Venus being terraformed is it didn't look like enough like Venus. They hadn't left enough Venusness in it.
It's not Venusy enough. Yeah, it's not got like...
It should just have had acid water.
Freaking acid, like volcanoes and shit, and like really dark. Well, not necessarily dark, but like really like stormy skies or something. I guess because it's stormy, right?
Well, yeah, it's like
stormy.
You can't even see the sun. So
yeah. But maybe if you terraformed it, something.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, you'd want to get rid of some of the atmosphere.
Yeah,
I think I'm just most annoyed about just how they've sold the game and to what it actually ended up being.
Well, yeah.
It's like the way they talked it up, in my head, like the ideal would have been, oh, hey, so this is going to be a bit like Guild Wars, but with, I don't know, shooter mentality, and it sounds like you're going in the right direction to pull some of that off, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like that first E3 demo or whatever it was is the worst offender in a way, because it's like, oh, okay, this is making it sound like it's a bit more story-based.
Well,
like the guys are looking at each other's guns, going, hey, this gun looks really awesome. How did you get that? That kind of stuff. And it's like, and then, of course, none of that matters in the game.
It's like he goes into that building and he opens a chest and gets a thing, and then he equips it and then shoots some things, and then they all mess up on a big boss and like random people run in, like, how are you doing Guild Wars?
Yeah, just like those don't happen, do they? In the same way?
No, not in that. Not in the way that they showed in that demo.
No, they're not so seamless. And it's like the separation between when you're on a story mission, you don't bump against randoms, do you? No, and you sort of do, but it's other people also doing story missions until you enter your instance or something.
Yeah, it's like they're basically at the same level.
But then, like things like the public events don't happen while you're doing those because that's a separate mode.
You enter the mode,
for
the
patrol
area
mode or something. Yeah,
mode.
It's a really weird structure. It's like I think if they'd have just Guild Wars, I don't have a problem with like the instanced bits for stories because Guild Wars does it and it works just fine. It's like, and you could do all your crazy set piece moments and stuff in that, sure.
Apparently, there aren't very many crazy set piece moments.
There's like two that
I there's the bit with the sword they could talk about. Like one mission with a sword,
and some stuff where stuff explodes.
That happens quite a lot, probably.
It's not striking me as it's sort of interesting, and that's the bit that's like making me sort of on edge, I guess. Sometimes it's like it's a Bungie game. The shooting sounds great. People are getting real into it. But I don't think I'm in the right place to play that game, partly because it doesn't sound as interesting as, I don't know, other stuff coming out, like Forza or even the Halo Master Chief Collection. Come on.
That's the thing. Past Bungie games seem better than present Bungie game.
Doesn't feel like they've doubled down on what they are known for and what they are good at. And also, it sounds like the best way to play that game is to have friends playing that game, and I've sort of missed that boat, I guess. And partly because I don't play anything that intensively with people.
No.
If you know what I mean? It's not like I'm logging on every night and going, what are we doing today? It's like, oh no, we've all skipped ahead. It's like, oh, well, fuck you guys.
We barely managed to do Guild Wars, and that's because we can do that as
you can do that to everyone, and it's like...
You guys did Borderlands when needed. Right?
Yeah.
What do you mean, when needed?
Like, whenever you wanted, rather than...
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
But that's because that's only 4 people. And you don't need any more than 1, in theory. Because it's an additive thing.
Yeah. But Destiny...
does that.
Borderlands just sounds like the bigger and better game in the comparable fronts that it has. And it's like there are a lot of comparable parts of those games.
I mean, I can believe that the Destiny is better looking and has better shooter mechanics than Borderlands.
Definitely.
But I mean, in the key things that were supposed to set it apart, like Borderlands still wins, like the awesomeness of the guns and how customized you can make
the loot system, the occasional craziness of what you might find.
Yeah,
it's like it's just generally more interesting. It's like Borderlands and perhaps Borderlands 2 as well. They both have the problem where they have the opposite problem of Destiny in a way, in that they're massive, but they don't necessarily do that much interesting with their environments. But at least you're not revisiting them too much.
Yeah.
It's like there are a few areas it sends you back to constantly. But
well, that was the trick with, like, when we were playing Borderlands, because I'd already played through it, I knew the order to take the missions, so you get all the missions from one area and do them all at once, instead of being sent back there repeatedly.
Yeah, I guess that is the trick. But I suppose the other trick with Borderlands is that really you don't have to do everything.
No.
At least Borderlands has a freaking sense of humour.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
What do you want? Every time. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure like plenty of people will be like, yeah. It's like, but even like the other, even if you took like, okay, put the game to one side and take like the Crucible on its own, that just sounds like a crap version of Halo.
Yeah,
again.
pretty much. Yeah,
or a not very interesting version of Halo. But again, they probably could have gone further with the idea of having like the PvP set up a different thing from how PvE works, and then maybe found ways of linking the two together. Like there are ways of earning PvP stuff through PvE, and then vice versa. But
I'm looking at a double disappointment here, really. I mean, I know Titanfall was cool and everything, but it doesn't seem to have taken off quite.
No, Titanfall's a cool game.
I know it's cool, but
it didn't get its hooks in me in the way I was expecting.
No. There wasn't really much there to take off, I guess. It wasn't just like a single miniature package.
Right.
You just played, once you'd seen all the levels and played them several times.
And I do always have a good time with it every time I go back to it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's every time I go back to it, I do think to myself, why am I not playing this more?
Yeah.
And it's like, because it is mechanically sound.
It's not just you though that's not. You know, it seems like generally the case for everybody that they think it's really good, but they don't come back to it.
Yeah, I do occasionally have major headaches with getting onto just getting the servers and things to work. And like, if I want to play it with kippers, like, and get an actual party going, then we tend to hit all kinds of troubles getting people into games and stuff.
Well, between you and Kippers both have had super weird problems with getting your consoles to actually properly communicate with the internet repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like, especially in Kippers' case, I don't know what the fuck is up with his internet, but it does all kinds of things. All the NAT problems and all that.
Well, he seems to have no problems, obviously, when he's playing with people on the same network as him, even on different consoles, but as long as they're in the same house,
right,
that's absolutely fine. As soon as I try and connect, everything seems to go screwy, basically. And it doesn't seem to matter which way round it is. If he's hosting, it doesn't work. If I try and party lead, it doesn't really work. It's like, and that affects like both Xbox Live chat and the game entries and stuff like that. And Titanfall is just the worst for getting that stuff to work.
So it's like, really, the problem is somewhere in between the range of 10 feet and 100 feet. Like the range just outside of Kippers' house to this house, which is not very far away. There's just something in that gap that fucks everything up.
That's the thing. I think we might even be on the same ISP now. I think we might both be on PlusNet, and so the number of reasons for why this is happening is decreasing. It's like maybe because I'm using Wi-Fi or something and he is wired. I don't know if that makes a difference, like because of latency or some other weird stuff going on, but it's weird. And that's been one of the major barriers for me playing games with Kippers on the consoles, because we seem to always have problems. And Titanfall is the worst for it. Plants vs. Zombies seems alright. That's because Plants vs. Zombies is a faultless game!
Game of the year! Game of the year.
It's pretty amazing.
Oh dear. But yeah, Destiny and Titanfall. Not that there's anything wrong with Titanfall, but come on, great white hopes of the next generation, and like nothing's going on for me that I'm enthused about. Forza Horizon 2, I like the idea of, but driving games are like a separate thing almost from like. They don't have story or whatever.
No, you don't necessarily get hyped for them either, I guess. It's like they're just sort of... They're there and they're nice and they could be great games still, but it's like I don't... Because of the... I don't know, it's weird, isn't it? I just don't feel like I get hyped for them.
Yeah.
It's like I'm really interested to see it in action and stuff like that.
But I think it looks super cool, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not one of those... I don't think I've got any driving games on my like top 10 games of all time or anything. Definitely not. I think. Maybe Burnout 3 Takedown.
I did come across an article the other day that basically just said Burnout 3, the best online multiplayer game ever made.
Quite possibly.
Yeah.
Because it was real good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think, F-Zero GX is up there for me. That's a hell of a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do with a Wipeout. But yeah. None of that's on the horizon either. So unless you're a Smash Brothers fan, everything's
everything's steadily getting more terrible.
Fucked, yeah.
Or a hardcore Assassin's Creed fan.
I'm starting to think everyone should just give up and play Hearthstone or whatever. Because I mean, there's no fucking point in computer games anymore. Jesus.
Hearthstone does look pretty good.
Exactly, right?
It really does look really good.
Let's just give it up and play Hearthstone on our iPads, and that's it. That's the end of it.
Well, that's kind of the good thing, I suppose, about Zach and I's like A to Z of the Steam list thing, that we'll get to actually perhaps find if any of the shit we don't know about on our Steam list is actually any good.
But the fact that we haven't ever played it probably tells you that it's not going to be.
Maybe.
In the majority of cases.
Maybe.
I mean, I saw the PC Gamer top 100 games of all time the other day. Number 10 was like FTL or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Number 10?
Yeah, something really high.
Wow.
I was like, well, that's dumb, but in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what they had at number 1 again. Oh, it was Mass Effect 2, which I guess kind of... Maybe.
No longer Half-Life 2.
Yeah, it just swaps around though. Deus Ex was like number 7 or something this time round, wasn't it? Yep. Just swaps around, moves around the top 10. Yeah, it does. Depends who's on the star. But it never goes away.
No.
Like, it'll always be like... And System Shock 2 is still like way up there usually.
They used to put Quake 3 really high, didn't they? Like,
yeah, that's dropped off, I think, a bit.
Quake Live launched on Steam.
Yeah, for some reason.
I think they put UT 2004 quite high up. Yeah, Quite Live on Steam.
Quake Live has launched.
Do you play that?
I haven't played it since like halfway through its web life, I suppose.
Right.
So it's been a long time since I fired it up. Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be worth checking out to see what they've changed, or if they've streamlined it any, or if it actually has a proper client. It does have a proper client now, doesn't it? It's like,
I think it does now. Yeah.
So maybe it'll be worth giving it a go, because it's still fun, but it will still be quite. They were changing some stuff, like you don't have to.
They had a new freaking gun, didn't they?
Yeah, there's a whole new gun, like a powerful, like a new machine gun that makes the not starting machine gun, but more powerful. I guess.
I don't know why they put that, because the whole point was that there isn't a rapid fire machine gun. That's
powerful. But then again, a lot of the guns are kind of like that anyway, aren't they? And like the closest one is the whatever the plasma rifle thing is.
Yeah.
The hyper blaster.
No, the actual plasma rifle in Quake 3.
Oh yeah, I know the one.
The
yeah,
big blue ball.
That is the closest. Yeah, fair enough. With
They should have just brought back the hyper blaster, because that's the best.
I used to like
so
that.
ridiculously overpowered.
Hyper blaster was so cool.
The Quake 2 weapon. There were 2 Quake 2 weapons that were a bit like that. They weren't there because the hyper blaster was super powerful and got more powerful as you fired.
That's right.
And then the minigun, we did that as well. But it was like,
and there was just like
insane.
a straight up machine gun, wasn't there?
Yeah,
like the other thing that used bullets.
There was. That wasn't that good though.
No, it was like an intermediate weapon.
No, it was better than having the blaster or whatever.
I just missed the super shotgun, for fuck's sake.
Oh man, yeah, super shotgun was amazing.
Yeah,
just because it's not just because it was a shotgun, like or anything, but it just had such the loudest bloody noise.
Yeah, a giant double barrel thing. Because the Quake 3 shotgun's all right, but it's no super shotgun.
Quake 3 shotgun's real pansy.
That's exactly.
Oh yeah, it's a
It's kind of like the shotgun in TF2, really, except. It does have 2 barrels.
Yeah, the TF2 shotgun is...
Scout shotguns, at least.
Well, no,
I don't mean the scout gun.
Yeah.
I don't mean the scout gun. I mean the...
they're okay.
The regular shotguns sound pretty good.
Yeah, they're cool.
Because they have actual proper
combat
sound effects.
Don't do a lot of damage most of the time, but, you know.
Yeah, but they're secondary weapon, aren't they? Yeah. Well, no. Primary for engineer, but secondary for...
Not any longer, though, of course.
Why? What do engineers use?
Well, it depends on...
Wrangle shit.
Yeah, because if you... The old, there's the upgraded shotgun, I suppose, is the actual one they use now, isn't it?
Right.
Which one? The metal shotgun or the...
Well, some engineers use that, but I meant the revenge shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Because then the sound effect gets improved because you always have crits.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing any good, I suppose you always have crits.
And that new scattergun sounds awesome.
What, the back scatter?
Yeah. It's got a great sound.
Sounds kind of weird.
It's real noticeable.
Well, yeah. Which kind of, defeats its purpose.
Yeah, I guess.
Because it's the bonus of it is you get bonus damage if you shoot people in the back, but then they immediately hear the backscatter sound effect and then turn around to face you, so you don't get the bonus.
Yeah.
Did you see the costume for the Alien Isolation pre-order, where the scout puts on 3 items and basically just looks like a xenomorph or whatever, like an alien?
That's quite cool.
Yeah.
That's no good. They already did the fake alien thing with the XCOM one, and it was much more funny.
Oh, what, the little green thing attached to the face?
No,
no, that was Alien Swarm. No, yeah.
Not even that one. I meant because for the XCOM they had the pyro has a like a grey type
Sectoid
head, but it's like it's wobble bone, so it jiggles around and flops, and it doesn't actually stand up properly most of the time.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, I've got one. I don't think I've ever seen really anyone. It looks kind of terrible, which is I guess why nobody uses it. But that's how you do a TF2 alien costume. You make it dumb.
Yeah, it's supposed to be dumb. I was a bit disappointed because it actually looks like an alien, which is a bit weird. It's going a bit far. But they had like the helmet for the heavy,
right?
And I can't remember what else, but some other alien-based stuff. But that was the main one. Like, there's a whole scout set, and they also have some. Like, if you're wearing the helmet, you take extra damage from melee from the scout who's wearing any of the Xenomorph stuff.
Right.
And and there's a flamethrower, which is like the flamethrower from Aliens, I guess.
Okay.
And that does extra damage to the Xenomorph wearing scouts. It's just dumb. Yes.
Game news!
Not really.
How did we get onto this subject again? Was it news?
We were talking about Quake Live.
Yeah. So that's enough news. What have you been playing, Robert Kemp?
You can start with me? Oh, wow.
He doesn't have much to say.
It depends. I could probably string it out.
No stringing.
We can probably string anything out on this podcast, as we always do.
That's our modus operandi.
I finished the story in Batman Arkham City.
Uh-huh.
The main story. I don't know why. I think my percentage is like 40-something still.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Like shit down above it. Stuff still to do.
Riddler bullshit.
The only thing I haven't done is like when the game finishes and it goes, you come back as Catwoman and there's some stuff to finish off there, and I made the mistake of then trying to get to some of the Catwoman trophies, and it's like, this is through. Like some of those I can't even reach because I'm pretty sure I still don't have abilities as Batman that I need to open up areas in which I can get Catwoman. And it's like, oh, right, okay. So I've got that bit still to finish.
I did. Did you get to the point which I talked about on the podcast before, where you're playing as Catwoman and you're supposed to save Batman, but you can just fuck off and end the game right there and be like, no, I'm out of here, bye.
Oh, I didn't realise you could do that.
Yeah, you can. I just walked out. I was like, this is in character for her. She's like...
Yeah, I'm going to accept... I didn't realise. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't realise either. It just rolls credits. It's like...
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway.
So what happened to it? Does it reload and you're just back in that room?
I think so, yeah.
Lets you choose the right answer.
Yeah, you have to reload, yeah.
When did you get a conscience? Wow, okay. No, I didn't figure that.
Anyway, that's quite
cool.
funny, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I think much of the main plot line, to be honest. It sort of feels like it peters out a bit, like it gets to the, the twist happens, and then you're kind of like, well, yeah, I sort of saw that coming, in a way.
It wasn't going to be as strong as that first game, anyway.
No.
That was a lot more focused.
Yeah, it's sort of like, as a result, I do feel a little disappointed with it, because it's like, I just don't think it's as interesting an environment, I don't think it's as interesting a story, and it's not got its hooks in me like the first game did. And it's like, since I finished it, I didn't go back to it.
Yeah.
Like, since I've done that, to just finish it off. And I really should, because I have like the DLC and stuff for it as well, because it was a Game of the Year edition.
Oh, cool.
So I've got like the Harley Quinn follow-on story, and there's some extra stuff in the challenge rooms, but yeah, I don't know at this point whether I'll actually bother to do those, because it was quite long to get to this point, and I don't know. I'll leave it installed for a while. Maybe I'll go back to it. Yeah.
It's the standard procedure. It's just like leave it installed until you've decided that you need hard disk space.
Well, this is the thing. Yeah, like it's annoying because like the achievement percentage is like to get through the story, and I've got like less than 30% or something. It's like, oh god damn it, there's a lot more to this.
Yeah, but you've kind of seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to...
It plays well.
But there's still more... I probably will go back to it because there's upgrades, like technology upgrades that I obviously don't have, like the ability to destroy elevated like walls you can destroy but are off the ground. Mm-hmm. It's because I got a way of getting the gel onto them. So it's like, there must be more stuff I haven't got. Got to figure out how to get those.
Metroidvania fun times.
Yeah. Because then it's annoying because that starts... I think that's part of the problem that I've had is that because there seems to be more of that you don't just go, oh, I wonder, that obviously requires a bit of kit I've got later. Because you'll follow a map icon to something and then you'll traverse like most of the map to like go do this thing, and it's like, well, you can't do it. And you're like, oh, for God's sake! And it feels more annoying this time.
Yeah.
And so, as I said earlier, I did that Catwoman thing. I went to what looked like a relatively nearby trophy rather than following the story mission, only to find it was behind one of these elevated walls I needed to explode. And it's like, but you put a Catwoman trophy behind a Batman obstacle. It's like, that's really irritating. I don't know how like the character switching will work once I've finished this segment, like whether it's like super simple. Which would be nice if it was. It's like if I get Batman to this point, destroy this thing, and just swap out Catwoman and like go in. That'd be nice.
I quite like the Catwoman stuff. That's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a slightly different way of handling the combat, and it seems obviously she doesn't have quite the epic move list that Batman does with all the gadgets and stuff. So it's sometimes a nice change of pace. But man, it's like dealing with anyone with guns as Catwoman is just like impossible.
Yeah,
she sucks against them. Got no real defense. Have to play stealth against them.
Pretty much.
Or get lucky and trip them up with the whip trip thing. Whip trip. So yeah, it's all right. I still recommend it, but I prefer the first.
Me too.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Which makes me not really interested or excited for the next one. Really.
Well, this one's like
I want to see what it looks like because everyone's talking to the visually. It's pretty incredible, but
I think it could be cool. I think they've had enough time to like think about how to do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, how to really do it well.
Maybe.
Although Jeff really doesn't like the tank thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The car tank thing.
Batman tank.
Would just be the tank.
Yeah, the Batank. The Batank. So that's Bat.
That's Bat.
I didn't really do a lot else, like, I guess PC-wise, or even console-wise. I played a little bit... Actually, no, I did play a little bit more Plants vs. Zombies before I went away, just to check out what the new DLC was about, because the Chester Cheetah stuff came out. It's basically 2 more characters for the game with slightly different weapon sets. Like, the scientist gets a super short-range but rapid-firing shotgun that I just couldn't bloody use, which is real difficult. But he gets to wear, like, he gets a hat that makes him look like Chester Cheetah, which is real funny. I forget what the other one was. Oh, it was a chomp. Like, you just get a tiger-coloured chomp that has, like, unlocks, like, instead of regular goop that you spit out to slow people down, you can goop out cheese.
Oh, that's really gross.
Yeah.
Way more gross than regular goop is liquid cheese.
Yeah. But no one's really using them that I've seen. Like, but it's funny that they're there. What else did I come across? They've also done another. They've added a new game mode called Suburbanation in the meantime, which basically plays out like Domination from Call of Duty, or sort of like the light version of Conquest, I guess, where there's like 3 capture points and you have to hold them all in order to be scoring points real quick. Right. But when you do have them all, it puts Suburbanation on screen.
Suburbanation.
And the music like fires in. And they've added more music to the game as well. Like the loading screen now has more music variants, and I think they've added some other little ditties elsewhere. So it's neat that they're still doing stuff. Oh, there's a whole new level as well. A whole new deathmatchy, Suburbanation-y, gnome bomb level. They haven't added a new level for the Garden Warf. What is it? The Gardens and Graveyards mode that I really like, but they should do another one of those sometime soon. But the new level's quite crazy, quite awkward, quite complex. Works quite well for Suburbanation, as you would hope, to go with the new mode. So PvZ, still adding stuff. For free.
That game is crazy.
And then I went on holiday. So I needed something on my iPad to do. I looked at getting FTL, but it's like £8. And I was like, nope. Nope. So I picked up Threes.
Great.
To see what that's all about.
See if you could learn some maths.
It's not really a math game, like, really. You just sort of combine cards that are the same number and they make a bigger number. And that you just keep going.
That's when you're playing at the base level, though. Playing at hardcore, that's when the maths comes in. You're thinking ahead.
No, sort of, yeah. I mean, you start picking up tricks about how to move the board around, so you're like making sure that the cards are the same numbers next to each other. I don't think I'm that great at it yet, but I'm I am sort of getting a little better, but I just really like the style of it. It's like it's super simple, and I like the fact that all the cards and then all the numbers have faces on them for no reason at all. And
that explains everything. Rob just likes faces.
They talk to you, and as you get bigger numbers, it sort of introduces you to a different face.
It all makes perfect sense now.
Yeah, it's the face game. But I played quite a bit of that, actually. I got into it real bad. It's pretty good.
Cool.
It's a pretty good game. It's one of those, like, super simplistic ideas that you can't believe no one has thought of before, in a way.
And then immediately a million people ripped off.
Yeah. But it's good. It's good. Faces. Face cards. Card face. I like it. I know when I tried to play a bit of letterpress as well, but we had like issues with our second game that we played on it, and then it disappeared from my game center. Right. It's like, well, I can no longer see this game, so I can no longer play my move. Great. Start over game. Start over game. That seems all right. It's, but I not quite sure why at the time it came out or something. It seemed to be a big deal. I'm not sure I get it, but it's all right. It's for a pass and play sort of game. So there. That was pretty much all I did on my iPad. But I did pick up my DS briefly and played a GBA game that I alluded to earlier. And that GBA game was Super Mario Kart Super Circuit, whatever it's called. Mario Kart Super Circuit.
Super Circuit.
Did you manage to learn how to play it again?
God, no. What the fuck is with the sliding on that game? It's like
it's really fucked.
It's really weird, yeah.
You were the expert.
Yeah, I know. I was like super awesome at that.
I got pretty damn good at it as well. I didn't like A rank or star rank all of the cups, because there's a shit ton of cups in that game as well. It's like, I'm trying to think. There's like maths. There's 40 courses in that game. But 20 of them are obviously lifted from the SNES.
Yeah.
But it's all of the courses from the SNES. And it's like, it's a pretty neat package, actually, when you look back at it.
Provided you can learn how to control it.
Yeah, how you can do the bloody... Like, in the end, it's just like, well, if I don't slide, I do better. So I stopped sliding, or trying to. It's a pretty great game, actually. I really enjoyed my time with that again. But just sort of lamented the fact that, the old... I want a bigger screen, is the problem. Like, the old DS screen is a bit small.
Right.
I was like, I want a bigger screen. I want an XL and put a GBA game in it. Oh, but you can't do that. Oh. I did actually play a tiny bit of Mario Kart DS as well, just to see what the difference is.
Also equally weird in its controls.
No, that's not so bad. That one's more like the modern versions of Mario Kart in how it handled. Didn't have too much of a problem getting back into the habit of that one. But then discovered that I don't think that's my copy of the game. I don't know where my copy is. It didn't have anything unlocked. I was like, well, this is weird.
Right, okay. Unless the battery died or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really have a battery nowadays, but... the ROM died.
So then we got in yesterday after the worst drive I've ever had in my life. And I played a bit of Guacamelee because I thought, well, I don't really want to play anything that's normally on my Xbox, which is a bit hardcore.
You don't want to finish any of these games that you keep starting.
I probably should have played Forza, yeah, but I just wanted to sit down on the couch and play some game. And Guacamelee was there, and it's like, let's try this. It's kind of cool. It's kind of, but weirdly... The start game is a bit weirdly paced, and it doesn't really explain itself very well.
No, I noticed that.
I think it tutorializes real bad, or you have to sort of discover and figure it out. And it's like you sort of learn pretty quickly. It's like, oh, this is a Metroidvania game.
Yeah.
But with like wrestling and fighting, and it seems quite heavy on the combat stuff.
Yeah, it is quite heavy on the combat. It's not that easy to pick up, I've found.
No, it took me a little while to get the hang of it. There are certain maneuvers that I couldn't work out for a while. Like, there's one move where you're supposed to roll through spikes or something, and you roll through a couple of them. And the next area, you've got one in the middle of a jump, and I was like just jumping into it, going, well, why can't I get through? I can't roll through. I can't jump out of my roll because you can't jump in the air. You can't really double jump. So it's like I'm just rolling through this thing and then falling to my doom and coming back. How am I supposed to get through this? So I asked around trying to see if there was a different route for ages until realising, if I push the same button while in the air, you do a sort of weird shoulder barge thing that also acts as a defensive roll.
But it doesn't tell
doesn't tell you that you can do it in the air, and it's like, oh, okay. So there's been a few moments like that where it's just not been clear. But I like the style. I like the craziness of it.
Style, isn't it.
Yeah.
I like all the weird jokes in it as well.
Yeah. Like all the things in the background are actually some of the best stuff. And the obsession with chickens. I love those chickens.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a little bit put off by the combat. It's all right when you get used to it, but yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm only like an hour or so, maybe 2 hours into it. And I'm sort of mainlining it at the moment because it's sort of, I don't know, it's one of those games where, because it's Metroidvania-esque, it's like if you do the normal thing that I normally do and go off the beaten track too much, then you just sort of notice, oh, well, I can't do that. That's a load of wasted bloody time. Let's come back and do this later. Or
when you have the right powers.
Yeah, or you see things on the map and it's like, well, I know that's there, and I sort of know where I would have to go to get to it, but I have no idea how. I have to forget about it. And I kind of find that a bit irritating now. I don't know. Maybe coming straight off the back of Batman and playing a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah.
Is sort of like winding me up a bit, I guess.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You know?
Too much Metroidvania at a time.
Yeah. Maybe I should play some Alien Breed. Finish that off.
God damn it. No, you shouldn't.
Yeah. I know. That's me. That's what I've been up to.
Cool. Zachary Burgess.
Well,
what you've been playing.
I've actually got 2 new things.
Woo.
One which I mentioned last time as a thing that I hadn't played, because after practically at the time of the last podcast was when Planetary Annihilation came out.
Oh yeah. It's out, right?
So I went in there and played some of that, and it's like, I guess I don't know why I didn't think it would be like this, but it's like a game that is 100% about Rush.
Yeah.
It's an RTS game. I don't know why I didn't think that would be the case, but...
They're not all 100% about Rush. I mean, like, some of them fairly nicely balanced, like StarCraft 2 or something. Or...
I don't know. StarCraft 2 is still fairly about Rush. It's like there's a transitional period where it shifts into like a mid-game.
Yeah.
But if you don't do the Rush stage correctly and the other person does, then you're done.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the definition of Rush, I suppose.
Well, that's definitely true.
So yeah, I mean, like, Planetary Annihilation seems to be very much about Rush. Because basically what you do is you spawn in, you build, like, your first 3 resource buildings or whatever, like metal extractor, 3 power plants, build your first factory, shit out, like, 5 scout units, set them to auto-patrol the map.
Yeah.
And then so really this first like set of scout units is the one thing where you transition into 2 different styles of game.
Right.
Because if you discover that the enemy is on the same planet as you, then you have to transition into a completely different technique. Which is the only technique I found, well, I'm only playing AI so far, so obviously maybe against humans it's completely different. But the only technique I found that can successfully defeat the AI is basically...
Is that on the same planet as you?
Yeah, if they're on the same planet as you, all you have to do is very quickly build whatever Tech 2 factory you have, build 20 of whatever Tech 2 heavy attack unit you have, and then just direct them directly at the enemy commander.
Right.
Because normally the AI tries to build defensive turrets and stuff, but it just, like, scatters them around randomly.
Right, doesn't know.
So it's like, you just, like, providing you have a sufficient number of, say, Tech 2 tanks, some of them will get killed, but eventually you'll just find the enemy commander and then you just part their achievement and then he'll explode.
And that's the end of the game.
And that's that. But then if you find out you're alone on the planet, then you basically transition into rushing to claim as many other planets as you can really quickly before the AI can. Because at the moment, with the way the like orbital mechanics and moving between planets works, it's incredibly easy to lock down a planet against the AI, and probably pretty effective to lock down a planet against humans as well, because there's not really much you can do about it.
Once you've taken a planet.
So what you do is you fly like one construction unit to a planet you want to claim, build a factory, build like some more construction units to help you basically build stuff faster, set all those construction units to assist the factory, and then just set it to shit out as many... Normally planes are the most effective. Just set it to alternate between building planes and bombers as fast as you can until you have like basically planes in the air all over the planet. And then, because then the way you can invade planets from the orbital layer is either you drop a unit down with like a sky crane type thing.
Right.
So those just get instantly intercepted by the planes.
Right.
And even if they do get onto the planet's surface and try to start building something, then your bombers kill it.
Right.
So that's like incredibly difficult to counteract because all you can do for orbital is like in the orbital layer you also have orbital interceptors if you have the technology. So you could theoretically do the same thing with planes only with the orbital layer and just have a shit ton of them flying around, which would make it even more difficult. But then in orbit you can build orbital defense platforms that can shoot down onto the planet.
Right.
But equally, there's things you can build on the planet that can shoot up into space. So, like, you can prevent them from building in your orbit if you build enough of those around.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's, like, orbital lasers that shoot down onto the surface. But they're actually quite weak, so they don't... If there's an orbital defense cannon that shoots up and an orbital laser that shoots down, if your orbital defense laser gets over the cannon, it'll kill it. But the movement speed of it is such that by the time it's getting above it, it's already dead.
Right.
So you either have to drop it directly onto it from the orbit of another planet, or get lucky or have enough other units to distract the cannon while it's moving into position or whatever. So actually getting a significant foothold on an enemy planet is practically impossible.
Right. So you just have to take as many as you can so that you get the resources.
Yeah, so you just out-economy the computer player.
So
and obviously then you have to worry about, mainly you want to claim any of the super weapon planets.
Right. So at that point, you're not even really fighting.
No.
So you claim more and then you have more resources.
Yeah.
And then you just wait until you can get a super weapon that can kill the commander from space.
Yeah, you either go... But at that point, really, all you're worrying about is nukes, because the computer players will build a lot of nukes.
Right.
They just, if they don't have anything else to spend resources on, they build nukes.
Right.
So you just basically have to have your commander stand inside the range of, like, 3 anti-nuke platforms or whatever,
right,
just so he doesn't get blown up while you're busy. And then you just work on either your own nukes or one of the super weapons, and then launch it at the enemy commander and then win.
So there's no actual battle in any of that?
Like, practically all the units are completely pointless, and it doesn't matter what the units are, and they're all the same. And,
the closest thing you've got to a battle in the whole game is your 20 tanks, identical tanks, trying to avoid their occasional defense thing and just...
Right at the start of the game.
Right at the start of the game and blowing up the commander.
Because that's really the other problem with if the AI is on the same planet as you, because what you can do is, like, if you have your factory... And then because how in Total Annihilation you could have it so that if you set orders on the factory, then everything that was built in that factory went onto those orders.
Right.
So you could transition directly from factory to patrol or whatever.
Yeah, which was awesome.
Which is awesome, but it's still awesome. But the thing is, now in this one, you have the ability where it's actually a cool way of managing drag select, basically, where when you click on the ground, you drag out in a circle,
right,
to select area attack or select a bunch of units or whatever. But the thing with that is, what you can do is if you click and drag off the planet, it just selects the whole planet.
Right.
Oh, cool.
So you can set your factory so that you just set up a patrol point, which is the whole planet.
Right.
And then your units that just randomly patrol around the planets, and that's how you do the thing with the planes to take over the planet. But the problem with that is that because the AI is an AI, they can do a better version of that where they have groups of units that patrol around the planet. So those will always defeat your single randomly patrolling units.
Right.
So if you're on the same planet as the AI, it's really difficult to not keep your resources outside of your main base area.
Okay.
Because they'll always win.
So you can't set up a little formation for your dudes?
No, doesn't seem like it.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. So yeah, that's all that is. It's a big old rush. And then you get the super weapons. And the super weapons take the original one, the crash of the planet into the other planet one.
With the engines.
That's not too bad in terms of how long it takes to get going. Obviously nukes are the fastest because they're the easiest, but then they can be defended against. And the engines also depending on the size of the planet you're using, I'm not sure if it necessarily changes how many engines you need. It just seems to be it randomly assigns a number of engines. Because I've had one planet that seemed quite big, but it only needed 1 engine, and then on another one it needed 3. But so, that's not too difficult to do. But then just before it came out, they introduced the second super weapon, which is basically a Death Star. The metal planets, which aren't actually metal planets, because they still have metal deposits on them, and you have to still build metal extractors on top of the metal deposits. Boo.
Yeah.
Although probably it'd be a bit overpowered if they were 100% metal. But yeah, so the metal planets basically, at like the North Pole, they have like a laser opening thing, and you have to build like 5 giant control arms around it. And obviously you have to protect those things while they're being built and while you're building all the other ones. And that takes fucking forever. But of course, once you've built that, you can just shoot every planet.
And annihilate everything. You just have a Death Star at that point.
Yeah.
So is that what you have to do if the enemy is defending in the way that you are?
Yeah. It's like once at the moment, with the balance the way it is, once either a person or a computer is entrenched on a planet, it's virtually impossible to invade. I was trying to think of like how you would do it.
Well, can't they just make dropships that can carry more than one fucking unit?
Well, that would probably help. I mean, you can do like using the drag select zone orders. You can drag select if you build a ton of those drop transports. You can select them all and then drag select over a bunch of units, and they'll all individually pick up a unit.
Right.
So then you can use that to do like a mass invasion, I guess.
But you still shouldn't need a dropship per unit. That seems ludicrous.
Well, one of the things that isn't in the game that would maybe not exactly solve the problem is they never made that unit cannon that they were originally going to have. The one where it fires them through orbit to the other planet.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that didn't make it in. So, because what they have now is basically a teleporter. So you can build 2 teleporters, click, and then it links them, and then you can just walk units through.
Right.
So that's,
you can't get that built.
Yeah, you can't. Even though it's actually quite quick to build, chances are, well, I mean, if you've just got a bunch of random units, particularly against the AI, one of them will see it, and then they'll just immediately send the rest of their forces to attack it, so you can't get in there. So I was trying to think of how you'd even do it, and it was like, you could do it if you built like a giant space armada to distract any orbital defenses long enough and the enemy spaceships, fly them all in, have them all go into random patrol so they just fly around and shoot things. And then in the middle of that, really quickly just get a bunch of construction units to build like an orbital defense platform which can shoot space and down, and then maybe like 2 more. And so you could like create a tiny foothold, and then under that, in the defensive zone, maybe then you could sneak in a teleporter.
It'd be cool if there were some stealth units so you can get down on the planet without being seen and stuff.
Yeah.
You could build up a small force before you uncloaked or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It just seems like the orbital stuff isn't finished, basically.
Yeah.
Which is, the whole problem with this whole thing is like there just doesn't seem like it's
Where's
done.
the strategy? It seems like it.
And they've tried to build it for like an esports-esque thing.
Oh, that's not going to work.
It has built-in streaming, and it has... The replay is actually kind of cool. Like it stores a full replay with everything happening, and you can rewind it and jump through it or whatever.
Through it, yeah.
And apparently, if you're playing single player, you can actually, in a replay, you can scrub back to any point and then just resume from there.
Oh wow!
So you can just carry on.
That's pretty cool. So you could, in a way, set up your own like little challenge modes or something.
Yeah.
Saying, I think this. If
I cocked up, how could I have done it better? Well, let's go back and try again.
That's a pretty cool way of learning, I guess.
Sort of, yeah. But it's just not complicated enough to require that, I don't think, really. So yeah, that's that. Planetary Annihilation. Also, I don't think the planet explosions look as cool as they should.
No.
Or, well, I don't know if they changed it at some point, or whether it's just a matter of like how big the thing is that you're crashing into the other thing. Because when you're flying the one planet into the other, I've seen screenshots where it leaves a crater and then it destroys everything, and then there's a crater.
Mm.
But I've never seen that in the game. Like every time I've done it, both of the planets just blow up.
Oh, right.
Well, there's no debris.
No. Well, there's like some rocks that disappear eventually.
Right. Does it not happen if you fire a small one into a big one?
Well, I mean, I haven't been able to tell because it's really difficult to tell how big the planet you're on is.
Right.
Because when you're looking at it, it's just like, this is just a planet.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you can tell where it's like, mainly it's when you build the radars, where it's like, oh, look, a small radar has range enough to cover this entire planet, so that can't be a very big one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that. Also, I don't know why I thought this would be the case, but in like the first game I played, for some reason I thought, I can't build planes on this moon-like planet, there's no air! But of course that's totally not the case, you can build planes wherever the fuck you want.
Oh right, and they can just fly.
Yeah.
If radar worked like actual radar, it would need line of sight.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see the other side.
No matter how small it was, you wouldn't be able to see the other side.
That would actually sort of make it a more like strategic thing. You'd actually have to have line of sight radar coverage.
so they would be more effective on the bigger planets.
Yeah. You'd have to build more of them on the small one.
Would you? You just have to build the same number, wouldn't you, because of line of sight? And...
You just have the problem that the long-range radars would be equally as useless as the short-range radars on the small planets. So no point building the big ones.
Well, unless on the bigger planets, the short-range radars can't actually go far enough to cover the entire line of sight that they have.
Yeah, that would be the difference. Yeah. The long-range ones would only be useful on the big planets where it would actually matter.
So yeah, I mean, there's some things about it that are cool in that kind of, like the clicking and dragging thing. There's also sort of the other cool sort of simplification for that is when you're building metal deposits. It's like you can just select the construction unit, click the metal extractor on the planet, and then just drag it off, and it just does all the metal points on the planet.
Oh, okay.
So that's convenient.
Can you upgrade to like moho mines and all that stuff in TA?
Sort of, but not really. It's only like Tech 2, and it only, really, by the time you've covered an entire planet's metal deposits with Tech 1 metal extractors, I've never got to the point where I've needed... Maybe because I'm not building any units.
Right.
It's like all I'm building is these super projects because I've got enough planes flying around to cover me while I'm doing it, or anti-nuclear missile defences, got them building as well.
God, it's boring.
Yeah, it does kind of suck.
I hear there's a giant naval tech tree and that you can put in like puddles, basically.
Yeah, it depends on like the layer. Like sometimes you get ocean world planet type things. Sometimes,
but even then, there's no point unless you want to rush the enemy who's on the same planet as you with boats or something on an ocean world.
Because the boats are quite powerful, as is traditional in Total Annihilation games.
Yeah. Can commanders walk through the water as well?
Yep, naturally.
Right, the classic ones.
And also, the other thing about...
TA was way ahead of its time.
The other thing that's theoretically been fixed since they patched it after release was, in the release version, particularly in the AI battles, it has a difficulty level, which I've only been playing at the easiest one. It's still not easy. The AI will still outrush you really badly unless you're on it. But then, I think the way it scales the AI progression through the galactic war scenarios is that it scales the economy, so the AI only gets 70% of its metal, but apparently in the early stages of that, when it was on very low scaled, the AI just didn't know what the fuck to do. It was it would build 3 metal extractors and then some power plants and then just stand there because it was I need more metal, but I don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
But apparently that's been fixed now, so
nice easy level.
Yeah, exactly.
It is easy. Difficulty level wouldn't lie then.
Only in those cases.
So there we go.
So there, that's that.
Kickstarter succeeded. Sort of. Game, not so sure.
They've still got to keep on
sort
working
of sounds fun to do the once.
Yeah.
Just to see what it's like.
Yeah. But then after that, I don't know.
I mean, I sort of had that problem with TA in a way. I kind of that game was great for turtling.
I mean, there is...
Just build, an enormous thing,
that's
and then build jumbo cannons, and then
that's
just
partially my problem with this game, is that, you don't turtle. There's no point building defensive turrets. You either occupy the whole planet, or you don't. And by occupying the whole planet, you're only using units to do it, apart from those anti-orbital turrets. That's the only ones that I build.
And the anti-nuke turret.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Defenses.
Protecting your important things. So, yeah. There's no turtling to it. Or I guess there is turtling, but it's 100% turtling.
Full turtle. Yeah. Total turtle.
Yeah.
That's what they should go.
Total turtlation.
And then the idea of the Galactic War does sort of introduce some elements that make it slightly more interesting, which is that you don't have all the tech tree available. So, as you progress from system to system, you pick up tech upgrades, and you only have a limited number of slots to hold them.
Oh, I see. No, that's kind of cool.
And then you can unlock more slots as you progress through if you find a slot upgrade instead of a tech upgrade. So you can...
I wonder if that would be an awesome way to sort the multiplayer out. So you have to pick which slots... do you have a limited amount of tech that you can bring with you?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because surely that then harbours the idea of forming different strategies. It's if I take this, and this, then
sort of, except
then I can do this.
Sort of, except that the tech options it has don't actually affect the very highest tech strategy. Because it's my setup. I have basic air, advanced vehicles, and then like some economy upgrades. But the trouble with that is it doesn't. Once you get to advanced anything, they can all build the super weapons and the nuke launchers and the anti-nuke launchers. Right. So it's like there's no. All you get from the advanced tech is the advanced tech 2 units that you're never actually using, because all that matters is the super weapons. It's like I don't even have orbital tech on the setup that I've been using, but it doesn't matter because provided you've got enough planes, they can't drop anything in for orbit, and you can use the anti-orbital cannons at Tech 1 to shoot up. So yeah, kind of weak in some ways. It looks okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still got that slightly sort of not cel-shaded style.
Yeah.
Sort of flat shaded, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah. For some reason, they removed unit wreckage. I guess because it always kind of sucked in TA, where you did, like, the whole battlefield was just gummed up with crap.
Full of stuff, yeah.
I always quite like that.
Can you reclaim metal from that shit?
Yeah.
You could in TA.
Yeah.
I think you still can for building wreckage. But it's so inconsequential to your overarching economy. Even in TA it was, more or less.
Yeah.
Apart from in the occasional missions where it would be like some super metal weak planet and you'd be like, oh, I need to reclaim these rocks!
Yeah. Just make TA 2, damn it.
They've tried several times and it's always not worked.
It's always not TA.
No. Also, obviously, Planetary Annihilation intro has the dude.
The dude.
Chris something, isn't it? His name?
The voiceover dude.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
The voiceover dude.
From the intro.
The intro to Annihilation. The core and the arm and blah, blah, blah.
It's the same guy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Or at least, I think it's the same guy.
I think it probably is.
Or he sounds exactly the same in other words. But yeah. It's all kind of, even more so in Planetary Annihilation, any element of the story is completely pointless. Because it's like there wasn't even a single player until they patched it. It was only going to be multiplayer, and the single player is incredibly weak, and the AI is dumb but incredibly efficient. Easily exploitable, but will still overwhelm you if you let it. So yeah, that's that.
What else you got?
What?
What else you got?
What else you got? Well, just yesterday, I got a hold of Final Fantasy Theatrythm Curtain Call. Theatrythm, which is the upgraded version of the original, which basically outclasses the original in every way and is cheaper. So screw all you people who bought the original.
Yeah.
How much
is it cheaper to everyone? Like,
yeah.
Is it not just people who own the original?
No, it's like 24 quid.
Huh.
Which is pretty cheap, considering it's not a small game.
So it's a rhythm game with Final Fantasy music?
Yep, all the Final Fantasy music. Well, not all of it, but a whole pile of Final Fantasy music.
Music from most of the games.
Yes.
Dum 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 dum.
Yep, exactly.
Dum 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 dum.
And I mean, I went back and looked at some video of the original, and I didn't even realise that, like, the original was even simple for how much of it there was. It was like, it pretty much was only just the rhythm game. Whereas in this, you've got, like, it packages the rhythm game into an interesting way, which is, like, it has... I think they're probably randomly generated maps where it will just, like, it creates, like, a Mario overworld map with, like, each point is a song, and then you get different routes you can choose, and then the songs are of different difficulty, and then, like, the maps are leveled, so, like, this one will have more expert songs, or...
Oh, cool.
So it's sort of an, like, extra layer of something...
Takes the decision process away.
Well, yeah, exactly. It also makes you play songs that you might not otherwise.
Yeah.
And you can level up your characters and all that shit.
Bit of me was wondering, this is a bit of an offshoot,
Yeah.
whether I should give the new Dance Central a go.
Right.
Not because it's dancing, but because, like, Connect technology.
Because you want to see the tech.
Yeah, how far have they come with
Wait
it?
for Fantasia, surely.
I guess. The Spotlight might have some free stuff. Because,
that's
it's
true.
a free client. I think it's a... Oh, I can't remember, actually, if the client is free and then you then have to add to it.
Fantasia.
Music Evolved.
What the fuck?
Fantasia Music Evolved. Do you not know about this?
No,
it's the
Disney.
Harmonix Connect game.
Oh, right.
That, yeah, it is Disney type.
Music evolved like combat evolved.
Yeah,
basically. Fantasia. Music evolved.
Yeah, it's done.
But
Are you like dancing around the Mickey Mouse? The Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Conducting almost.
But yes, that's in there,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
And it's like, but yeah, you're conducting. They'll put like things on screen that involve like you have to swing your arm in this direction and stuff, and that'll be sort of keep it in roughly in time. But the trick with that game is like every now and then you'll get
you evolve the music.
Yeah, you get moments where you get to change an element of it. Like, oh, hey, you get this is your drum check changer.
So it's like Spore.
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
No.
Sort of. In a real weird way. It's like, hey, you like your Sorcerer's Apprentice like this too? What if it was dubstep? And then you go, oh, okay, well, I'll drop in the dubstep beat behind it. And then the next time a choice comes up, it's like, oh, so you don't like the orchestral like front line? How about trumpets?
Deploy the trumpets.
Yeah, we need more brass. So that's that game's trick. Actually, for the people that like the problem with Fantasia is it's been in the making for so long now that it's lost all of any hype that it had, because it's like people that saw it when it was I think it was a 360 Kinect game at one point, and they showed it on there initially, and people played it and thought this is really cool. And then they played the one version before the one came out, and it's like, this is really cool. And it's like, we're now another year later, and everyone's like, yeah, but it's it's still cool, but we saw this 2 years ago.
Why is it taking so long?
Yeah. Why is it taking so long? Well, Harmonix did downsize, didn't they, at one point?
Yeah, I guess. There was some shit happening. So
yeah, Fantasia. Music evolved.
And Final Fantasy.
Theatrythm.
Theatrythm.
How's it spelled?
THEA.
TR.
You're trying to spell theatre?
TRYTH. Or what? Theatre rhythm.
It's like feet rhythm.
Yeah, it's more like feet rhythm, if you're going to pronounce it in that way.
Or theatrythm.
Theatrythm.
Oh, I see. It's all one stupid word.
Yeah.
It's all one dumb word.
It's a bit weird.
That's a dumb idea.
Because it's a dumb name, even if it was 2 words, it would be a dumb name. If it was just theatre rhythm, it would still be dumb.
Curtain call is the bit after the performance.
Well, that's why this is the second one.
Because it's the last one they're going to be doing for now. Yeah,
presumably they're going to be making DLC for it, supposedly. So that will Nintendo fuck up the DLC? Oh, I guess it's not even Nintendo this time. Technically,
is it the encore, the encore, or the after party edition?
Yeah, maybe. But this edition has way more songs than the first one, and it's just got more extra stuff. It's got unlockable. You collect cards, and the cards have different rarities. And they're actually like rendered like cards, and they're in a binder, and they have like a front and a back, where they have like a little bit of text description about the card, where it's like, oh, this is Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. He's a dude.
But what do they do?
Nothing.
Right.
Well, that's not technically true. You can
right.
If you take cards that you've earned, you can combine them together in like this. They call it the card crystallarium, which maybe gives you a clue what they're aiming for.
Crystallarium?
From Final Fantasy later series.
The 13s used the crystarium, I think it was.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Crystal something. But
as a leveling.
So you combine all the cards together and then you can use them to buff your character's stats.
Okay.
So yeah.
And what does buffing your stats do?
Makes you be able to defeat more enemies during the battle phase or run further in the field phase, and then you get more items to...
So it doesn't affect your score, at least?
No, that's the weird thing about it, actually. But
that's a good thing, right, for balance?
Well, it's sort of a good thing, but it doesn't... It means there's no point in having scoreboards, which I guess they don't have.
Right.
Or maybe they do. I guess I don't know because I've never went to the online or street pass with anyone, I suppose. But it's like when you all critical, perfect, clear the song, you just get your score is just all the 9s, which is sort of nice, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because then you can always tell how good you were. It's like, I was in the 980,000s that time. I was close. Not that you could just look at the stats and be like, I missed one.
Yeah. So I suppose there's no trick like in Guitar Hero or something where it's like, I need to find where the star power
there's no like
is,
star power moments. Yeah. Or, there is one, like the summon sequence, but then that's just another bit for you to not cock up. It doesn't change the outcome of anything. Apart from killing more of the enemies, getting you more treasure, I suppose. Which is based on your character's stats. And then you unlock the characters by sometimes the loot will be a crystal shard, and then you can choose from one of the various characters that are attached to this crystal shard colour. So you can get all the dumb characters. You get to choose which 4 you choose at the start. And if you play the demo, you get a slightly larger selection to choose from.
Wow.
Yep. So I chose, like, obvious ones that I knew, sort of. Well, no, actually, I guess I didn't. I didn't go, like, Cloud or anything. I mean, God,
Yeah, he's completely...
way too obvious. Yeah. So I chose, like...
Squall.
No. I did choose Zidane from 9.
Big head.
He's kind of cool. And then, like, Ramza from Final Fantasy Tactics, because I sort of vaguely know that game.
Ramza.
That's his default name, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because in Tactics, you would have put in your own name.
Can you play as Saz Katsuri?
I don't know. I haven't seen anyone from 13 apart from Lightning,
Vanille,
and from 13, from the later 13s, there's whatever Lightning's stupid sister is called.
Sarah.
God, yeah.
Stupid Sarah.
They look basically the same because they just both have pink hair.
Yeah, kind of.
And also Vanille does as well, so they're all the same.
Vanille's ginger, isn't she?
I don't.
Vanille's the best name ever. After name your
but yeah, I definitely hope that Saz Catroy will be an unlock. Because I have him.
So you go have Saz Catroy.
I've got Barrett.
Vanille Kemp.
I've got Barrett, and I've got Zach. That's
yeah, it's appropriate.
I've also got Cloud now, so I guess fine. Zach and Cloud, put them both in the team. That would be well confusing.
Saz.
And I unlocked Aeris as well, and I was like, well, that's kind of strange. She's barely a main character. She dies right at the start of that game, relatively speaking, compared to the whole length of that game.
True. But, it's for the fans. For the fans!
But the thing that I'm wondering is, are the other Final Fantasy VII characters? Because it doesn't look like it's going to be every main character in the game.
Right.
It's just going to be like... So, obviously, there's Tifa, there's Cloud, there's Aeris, and there's Barrett. And I'm like, is that it for 7? Are they going to sneak in Sid? Because I'm also thinking, well, surely they're not going to bother to do the extra work to animate dogs and giant cat monster robots.
Yes, yeah.
It's just like a generic guy template that they've pasted on the textures for.
Chibi person.
Yeah. Although they do have slightly different animations. Like, if you have, like, Auron from Final Fantasy X, he holds his sword in the way that he does, and he doesn't have his arm in the other sleeve in the way that he does.
Or his arm's sort of in a sling, isn't it? Yeah.
So they have made slight differences in the animations for the different characters, which is sort of cool. And like the backgrounds for the levels, like when you're playing the field maps of the different games, they have rendered out like a panorama of the different places.
Oh, yeah.
So when you're in 7, it's like, oh, I'm walking past Midgar, and there's the meteor crater. And then when you're in 8, it's like, oh, yeah, there's the garden, and there's that place with all those wind turbines.
Yeah, that weird place.
So yeah, it's kind of cool.
So that's all right.
Yep.
Is it difficult enough?
I'd say probably. It's like basic is too easy, expert is probably fine, and ultimate is probably way too difficult.
But that's all right then.
Yeah,
that's a proper river game stance, isn't it? The basic mode is always super easy. Like the middle ground is where you should have the most fun. Then there should be like slightly harder normally, and then the ridiculous one.
There's only 3 in this though.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's I guess different from the original, even though I didn't really play the original, is they've allowed you to use different control schemes. So you can do the stylus mode, or you can play it with buttons.
Oh, okay.
Or you can...
But that's not nearly as fun, surely.
Well, depends on what exactly... I mean, you still have to, you're using the circle pad to do the slide directions.
Right.
So when it's got the arrows that you have to slash across with the stylus, you're pushing in the right direction with the circle pad. And when you're doing the wiggly lines in the overworld stage, you have to track the circle pad up and down.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's also, if you want to, you can play hybrid, where you play with the circle pad and the stylus. So you tap with the stylus and slash with the circle pad. Or if you want to be pointlessly hardcore for some reason, because I don't even know why this is an option, it also detects if you play one-handed mode, where you use L as the button and circle pad as the slashes. One-handed mode! And obviously it detects that based on what you did during the song, and then it saves that attached to the score.
Oh, I see. This is a one-handed play.
Yeah, so it tells you what I guess only your highest score, but it tells you what your highest score was done with.
I guess, yeah. Interesting. bit like on the old Mario Kart, so it's like this person's using motion controls.
Yeah. So there you go. That's that. And then that was more or less it. There was a bit of Guild Wars. I actually went into World versus World for a minute.
What?
They started their autumn tournament or whatever, but there was achievements attached to it, and they were super easy achievements. Where it's like you have to play all of the 4 weeks of the tournament, but you only have to complete 5 World versus World events during each of those weeks.
Right.
And that's like nothing. If you get in the main Zerg of your team, it's just like you catch a 5,000 and you're done. So I was like, I might as well wander in there and see what's up. See how World vs. World works nowadays, and it's pretty much. I think maybe they've dramatically reduced the strength of most of the like gates and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Because even with like a small squad of like 10 or 15 people and 1 battering ram, we were just walking through them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
All battering rams have got stronger.
Well, I mean, it was a flaming battering ram, like the best kind of battering ram you can get.
Flaming battering ram.
I found it weird because it makes like roaring noises. Sort of sounds like maybe they've reused the char sound effects.
No.
Which is really confusing because I was like, where is that roaring coming from? Oh, it's the fucking battering ram. So yeah, I got murdered one time. Well, no, actually, I got murdered more than one time, but I got really murdered one time. Whereas, like, I was as usual, as always happens to me in this kind of situation, I was the only one at one of these bases because the rest of the Zerg had run off.
Yeah.
And then the enemy Zerg was somewhere in the distance because I could see it on the map. Things were changing hand and getting attacked. And I was like, well, that's fine. I'll just wait here for a while, see if anything happens. And then I saw one of our supply caravans coming down the road. And I was like, oh, that's fine. It's nothing's happening. It's trundling along. And then some goddamn Harpies came out of the sky and started attacking it. And I was like, well, those are NPCs. I can totally take those. And then I'll get one of the event achievements for protecting the caravan. So I ran out there and started fucking attacking the Harpies? Harpies. Started attacking the Harpies. And then the whole enemy Zerg came up behind me. And, like, they were at the gate of the base while I was out on the road fighting the Harpies attacking the caravan. And then, like, so I suddenly got attacked with fear from something, which, you know, that's the effect where it makes you run away. And I was like, what happened? I started running, I got feared by something, and then I turned the camera around, it's just like the entire enemy team is just there. I was like, well, fuck. Run! And I made a valiant attempt to try and get back inside the walls by just, like, using all my escape techniques and, like, the engineer's stability maneuvers, like the thumping thing that gives you stability and all that. But it wasn't enough. There was too many of them.
Bum, bum, bum.
So yeah, that's still the same as it's always been. Big piles of people.
Yeah.
Never actually a fight.
I don't know, we had those few times we played it, there was some quite big standoffs in there.
Yeah. But it's just like, it was really... I was on the Eternal Battlegrounds, the main middle map where it's free. The free teams come from each side, and it's basically designed to be a constant fight. But we were basically doing the classic Battlefield flag capture maneuver, where it's like all 3 teams were at like the 3 different corners of a triangle and just rattling around capturing everything.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
So yeah.
New season of content starting soon, isn't it? Or...
Well, not the new season. The return of
season 2,
supposedly. Yeah, I don't know. I never got round to doing any more of the first part of it after I said that I wasn't going to, and then surprise, I didn't.
Hey, Destiny, you're looking at Guild Wars. Hey, look harder. Look at it.
Oh, and that was the other thing that did happen. They released the September patch that wasn't...
Oh, the feature pack.
Yeah, the feature pack.
Yeah.
Which mainly seems to be about, like, making the fucking Black Lion store not load crappily. Which seems to have worked, more or less.
I never really had too much of a problem with it. Like, it would occasionally, like, if I was just selling crap on there, it would occasionally not load the sell page for some reason.
That really... It's just that, like... The weird specially built browser that they had to make for that just didn't work very well. So they remade it, and it works slightly better now.
Slightly.
Yep. And all my characters have had their second birthday, so I've got another round of birthday boosters, and all my characters have the stupid birthday cake gun.
That's awesome. The cake gun. That fires the stickiest jam. Almost gum.
Almost
chewing gum. Just to bring that back to the random thing.
My gun has been jammed.
Yeah. What do you play, Dan? Anything?
I played the Federation Cruiser after you told me that it was actually good.
Yeah, was it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay,
like
good.
you say, you just tank it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that worked fine. You have to just survive initially and upgrade it. It worked out fine. So that was good. So the next one is the Zoltan thing with the shields. I guess that's it.
That's kind of a weird one.
What's the deal with that one?
Well,
Because after that, I get the Mantis one. I can actually do the fun time teleport plans. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll actually be fun. Like, it's a bit boring, the Federation Cruiser, because you just have to basically. You get into situations where you just have to wait and you can't die.
Yeah. Not that doesn't happen quite a lot anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, you don't even have to target the editor.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Because your lasers, like at that point in the game, sometimes it's like too weak to get through their shields. You just have to wait for your for the
fat laser.
Yeah, fat laser to kill them, which is like interesting.
But yeah, the Zoltan is like. I mean, that super shield doesn't give you as much protection as you hope.
It sounds, yeah.
I mean, when you fight those Zoltans, you know how
Yeah.
It's just like you just wait for your first volley and then it's pretty much gone.
That's
And
true.
then you just proceed as usual.
Yeah, so I'm a bit worried that it'll be a lame one to play.
Not particularly. Although you do get the advantage of like starting with 3 Zoltan crew, so you get the massive bonus to the reactor.
Oh, is that it? Right, you get loads of reactor.
Although, of course, one of them has to start as pilot, so he's wasting his reactor because there's no power in the pilot
Right,
room.
so you want to swap out the pilot as soon as you can.
Yeah, you want to try and find another race to shove in there.
Before he gets too experienced to pilot him to actually move.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I always find that I never bother to move my crew because they're just too experienced already.
Well, especially the pilot.
Yeah.
Like, the pilot is always the pilot.
He just sits there from the beginning, whoever he is.
Yeah.
Or she.
I can't remember anything else special about the Zoltans, really.
Yeah.
Do they have a secondary thing apart from the shield? Because I think the shield counts as like an augment, doesn't it?
Yeah, it counts as an augment, but
slots.
otherwise I couldn't tell. It looks like you get a fucking beam as the primary weapon.
Oh, right, yeah.
Which
So I guess you have to learn how to use beams.
But beams suck, right?
Most of the time. I mean, it
How are you
depends.
supposed to use them?
How
are you going to get through their shield?
Well, in the early game, you can get away with it once it's only one shield layer.
Yeah.
Right.
But as soon as there's 2, you might need to... I mean, that just depends on getting your secondary weapon.
Yeah, do you think I should just swap out the beam?
Well, it depends what you find.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, beams will still do tons of damage because of the way you can aim them.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to
Cross as many
you have
rooms
to
as
make
you
sure
can.
you take out the pixel corners of every room to hit, like, as many... Like, you can easily hit, like, up to 6 rooms at once.
Oh, can you? Oh, okay. So you just
It
have
depends on the layout of the enemy
Yeah.
ship, of course.
Right.
Well, it's not so effective against some of the drones, for instance.
Yeah, because they all have their individual rooms on the drone ships a lot of the time.
Right.
I mean, the drone ships, not like NG ships or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can line up the beam shots in the right way, you can do tons of damage.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe I'll go full on beam. Maybe I should get that ion thing to go with the beams.
Well, yeah, I mean that would be
quite effective.
If you could get a hold of that Ion 2 that the NG ship starts with, the really fast firing one.
Yeah, you'd be sorted.
That's theoretically a good combo.
I never get much luck with equipment in the shops. Really,
No, I don't.
I've never seen anything good.
Well, it's like for some reason you almost never find good weapons.
No.
It's like if you ever get a good weapon, it will just be off a random event somewhere, not like a shop.
Yeah,
which I guess is
yeah.
a better result because then you're not spending a fat ton of scrap.
Yeah.
The good weapons always cost tons.
That's true. Yeah. I swear some of those level 2 ones are better than the level 3 ones.
Yeah, probably. It depends on exactly what... I mean, it's mainly... A lot of the time it's because of the power usage.
Power usage, and sometimes they just take ages to charge up, the high power ones. Mm. Like the level 3 laser thing.
The 5-shot.
Yeah, it's 5-shot. It takes forever to charge up.
But it is 5 shots. But it uses like 5 goddamn bars of power.
Yeah, exactly. It's ludicrous. You're better off with that Mark II that you start with.
And then something else to supplement it.
Yeah.
Or just 2 Mark IIs. Fuck yeah.
I mean, I've discovered my main tactic for the final boss these days. Well, one of them is don't use ions or whatever, and don't use missiles the entire game. And then right before the end, buy a launcher and then just set it on auto fire because you got so many missiles.
Yeah, just whittle down its health because every missile hit will do damage.
Yeah, breach missiles or whatever.
Yeah,
but presumably that's still not. Well, I guess that tactic would be less effective in normal mode.
Well, you still need a lot of missiles, like a lot.
Yeah,
because we're talking like at least 20 health per stage, probably.
Right.
I don't know how long its health bar actually is.
Yeah,
it's big.
Right. That makes all the difference. Anyway, so I did that, and then not much else. I started a new game of Red Dead Redemption for some reason. So that was fun. Not much to say about that. It's Red Dead Redemption.
Bong.
Bong.
That's what it does, doesn't it? That's the Red Dead Redemption theme, isn't it? Just dong.
It's got a good
like
theme.
a Western theme.
Yeah,
more
it's
or
a
less.
Western theme. Yeah,
Use that all the time.
it's cool. Yeah. Yep.
Great.
I would even. I can't.
Great.
I wish Audacity had a freaking readout. Like
It does, but it's tiny, and I'll have to
read
get
it from here.
I'll have to get up and go look at it.
Can't read how much time we got left in our podcast.
We've already gone way over, I bet.
We are actually 1 minute under.
Yes.
Holy shit.
actually
Because
on
Rob didn't
time.
have anything to talk about.
No.
Technically.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't go on for my normal 40-minute rant about whatever game I'm playing because I didn't have a lot to rant about this time.
And I also kept my shit under control as well.
It's all
Keep
good.
it under control!
Perfectly executed podcast. The exact right time. Thanks for joining us, listeners. Catch us next time for
Why did you sit
more,
back down, you idiot? Now you have to go and stand up again.
more on the
Yeah.
podcast. Bye, guys.
Ta-da!